All right, welcome in Gabe DeArmond and Mitchell Forde here with you guys, Mizzou and Florida. I don't know, Mitch, about you. I'm staring at a screen that says your event is about to begin. Stand by.
Yeah, I just flipped to the SEC Network studio, so it looks like there we go. Now I'm seeing 8 minutes to kickoff.
8 minutes. Yeah, same. I'm like a little behind you, but not much. 8:42. So yeah.
Okay, yeah, I just saw 8:30 right there, so that's good. We won't be like horribly separated.
At least as of now. So anyway, we've got 8 minutes to fill. We've already given our predictions for this game and everything else. Like, I don't know what you're doing. I'm eating Shakespeare's right now. So like, everybody that's watching, I appreciate you being here on time and being here before the game starts. But like, you're gonna have to deal with me eating some delicious Shakespeare's pizza right now because that's really all there is to it. You just have to.
Yeah, I mean that sounds good. You win the dinner battle tonight. I had chicken that was good, but it's no Shakespeare's.
Yeah. I'll try not to talk with my mouth full, but no promises. Highly recommend the pepper cheese from Shakespeare's, though. It's good stuff.
I mean, you don't need, if you need me to fill the remaining 8 minutes, you could just ask me to talk about the pandas pepper. I could easily go for 8 minutes.
This is true. Yeah. Just break down every kind of pepper that is on the pandas pepper and which one most contributes to the pandas pepper being an excellent pizza.
Yeah, there are a lot. I mean, it's definitely the pepper cheese, though. The pepper cheese is the key.
Yeah. I only eat pizza with pepper cheese now. Okay, so Nick Bolton's playing. Kadarius Toney's playing. I haven't seen Kyle Trask, but I assume he is playing. Trey Overstreet hates me because I'm eating Shakespeare's, so, you know.
That hate seems strong.
But yeah, for anybody who hasn't yet heard, we know Florida's missing 5 defensive backs, a linebacker, and a kicker. We know Missouri is missing Daniel Parker Jr. and Larry Borum, and we don't think Xavier Delgado is starting. Does that kind of catch everybody up?
Yeah, I think so. We think that Detroit Hansford and Darius Robinson have a chance to play. I'm seeing Connor Bazelak and Mike Maetti on the screen right now, so they're in uniform and going to play. So that's good to know. And by the way, Florida losing that kicker is like kind of a blow for them. He's been really good. So. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know much about backup kickers. I don't generally study them, but
yeah, I have no idea. I just know that guy's been good.
Yeah, I would think the backup is usually worse than the starter.
Yeah.
All right, so Davin wants to know what kind of pizza I'm eating, and I am eating. It is artichoke heart, tomato, and pepper cheese. That is our go-to order. It's really good. I know it sounds a little weird, but it's really good.
I don't know that I've ever had artichoke heart on pizza before. I have to give that a try.
I would recommend it. It's solid. I don't know how we came up with that, but I'm happy about it. I might just sit here and eat for the next 3.5 hours. Honestly, I might not even watch it. So there. All right, Jalen Knox is playing. He's on the broadcast. That's good news.
It seems, we're just checking them off one by one.
I feel like every game is just, well, who's playing, who's not playing.
I mean, really, it's true. I mean, the home games I've been to this year, I go down the roster and check off everyone on the depth chart because you just don't know until 1:26 Friday morning. Apparently, is when they let Eli Drinkwitz know, and we don't know until they show up.
Yeah. So, I checked some scores. Alabama is already ahead of Mississippi State 10-0, 10 minutes into the game. The good news is, though, no Mississippi State players have transferred since kickoff.
Really? Wow, that's impressive. I mean, that might be the longest stretch they've gone since beating LSU.
At least in a week or two, no question.
Yeah. So, update for you. I just saw our guy who covers Florida for Rivals, Zach Abel-Verdi, tweeted out that Florida will officially be without 10 players tonight. There is a list of those players, but I don't honestly know enough about Florida to know if any of them, aside from the ones that were reported earlier, which are the cornerback and 2 starting safeties and kicker, I don't know if the other ones are honestly important, but I will retweet that if anyone wants to check that out.
Okay, and we knew what, 7 that were out already?
Sorry, it's 15 players. 15 players unavailable tonight.
That's quite a few.
Yeah, I mean they had to be scaring that threshold a little bit. Although no, I don't know if all these guys are on scholarship.
Right. So I'm just going to run down the names. It's listed by number. So
Right.
I'm not sure. Cornerback Marco Wilson, safety Sean Davis, C.J. McWilliams. He is number 12. I do not know what position he plays. I don't know if you're able to call up a Florida depth chart, Mitch.
Give me a second.
Kind of compare that or a roster that has positions. Donovan Steiner, he is a safety. Quincy Lenton, I've never heard of him. He wears number 14. Evan McPherson, number 19. He's a punter. Ethan Pouncey.
He's the kicker. He's the kicker.
Or the kicker, right. Ethan Pouncey is number 21. The other Pounceys who went to Florida were offensive linemen. I'm guessing by wearing number 21 that Ethan is not.
All right, I've got a roster for you. Ethan Pouncey is a defensive back. He's a freshman.
Okay.
That's all I know.
What about C.J. McWilliams?
What number
12.
are we talking there?
Number 12.
12. He's a defensive back as well. Another freshman.
24.
Sounds like the defensive back group got hit pretty hard.
Yeah, they hung out. What about number 14, Quincy Lenton?
Quincy Lenton is a defensive back.
24, Avery Helm.
Avery Helm is a defensive back.
25, Chester
They might
Kimbrough.
not have a secondary. Florida might not have a secondary.
Right, yeah. Chester Kimbrough, 25.
You're not going to believe this. He's
Defensive
listed
back?
as the defensive back.
All right. 32, Mordecai McDaniel.
Defensive back.
All right. 34, LeCedric Brunson. I think he's a linebacker.
Oh, here we go. We broke the trend. He's a linebacker.
47, Austin Perry.
Austin Perry is listed as an athlete. So
Okay, so he doesn't play.
kind of some mystery there. Let me
66
click on his bio, see if I can get me.
66, Jalen Humphreys. 75, TJ Moore. And 77, Ethan White. I'm assuming are offensive linemen.
Yeah, I clicked on Austin Perry's bio, so give me a second. Austin Perry has not played this year, so not a huge loss there, it seems. Let's see. Yeah, 66, 75, and 77 are all offensive linemen.
Okay. So, yeah, mostly defensive backs, it appears.
Yeah, it seems like they really might not have a lot of guys to put back there tonight. So that'll be something to watch.
Yeah. I like the Florida outfits. Those are
Yeah, I was actually going to say the same thing. I know I'm not supposed to compliment anything about the team Missouri's playing, but they're pretty nice.
Doesn't it seem weird to you, though, that they're wearing the Gatorade throwback uniforms for a season in which Missouri actually beat them?
Yeah, it is kind of a weird choice of opponent for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, to all of you saying my pizza is no good because there's no meat on it, you should try it first.
I would tend to agree that it would. I think it could be improved by throwing a meat on there, maybe a pepperoni. But I believe you. I believe that it's good, but I think it could be better.
My incredible level of fitness does not happen by just throwing meat on everything I eat. When I get a greasy pizza soaked with cheese, I make sure to only have vegetables on it so that I.
Yeah, I was going to say, there you go. You're really being healthy by eating Shakespeare's.
I'm going to break into the Boulevard later too.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's low calorie though. So.
Yeah, if there's one thing I know about Shakespeare's, it's that I always finish, feeling like I just had a light, low-calorie meal.
Right. Sometimes I get a salad with it, and I'm really healthy.
Yeah, I love Shakespeare's, but their salad is kind of comical. It's like lettuce, cheese, and one tomato.
Yeah. Sometimes you get croutons. Hey, it looks like they're actually going to start the game.
Yeah, it does.
So,
looks like we're about there.
Right,
it looks like, according to Twitter, Mizzou won the toss and is taking the ball.
Okay. So you tell
By the way,
me.
Mizzou now 4 for 5 on winning the coin toss this year. Just incredible. I got to ask Drinkwitz about that.
I wonder who's calling it.
I don't know, but they've got good luck.
Okay, so you tell me when you see the opening kickoff, and then I'll tell you when I do, so we know how far apart we're here. It appeared that we were only like 10 seconds apart, which isn't bad.
Yeah, I will. I stand by it. It is happening right now. I just saw it. Also, Florida's kicker is number 71. You don't see that every day.
No. Okay, so he just kicked the ball. So I'm like between 10 and 15 seconds behind you, which is fine.
That's not terrible. Yeah.
So do we think Sean Robinson get the start at quarterback?
I think those days are over of wondering that. You have Connor Bazelak out on the field with the first team. Let's see if I can get a good look at the offensive line here.
T-Rise says the ESPN app is saying the game hasn't started. It has started. I promise you that.
It has.
My feed appears to be just buffering right now, so that's good news.
It looks like Dylan Spencer did start at left guard and Javon Foster started at right tackle. So there you go.
And Connor Bazelak at quarterback. So
Yes.
I was wrong on that one, 0 for 1.
And Damon Hazelton at wide receiver. He just dropped a pass.
That was a bad drop, too. That was like an 8-yard gain.
Yeah, and we already have an entry. And if it, I mean, I hope that's not a defensive back for Florida.
I mean, what is there a minimum number of defensive backs? That guy's big.
There is not. It was not. I mean, that I assumed is one of those things where like the team could like petition to the league and be like, look, we have 0 safeties. You should consider not having us play. But it was not included in like those protocols for before the season.
Do you still have your Florida roster up? Who's number 1?
I do not, but I can pull it up again. Or I also might be able to look on Twitter here and see who's down. It's Brenton Cox. He's a defensive end.
Okay. Well, I mean, good news for Florida. At least the defensive backfield hasn't taken another hit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he got cut blocked there by Zeke Powell right in the knee.
Doing the ACL test on him.
Yeah.
And apparently it turned out fine because he is putting full weight on his leg.
Yeah. All right. Looks like on second down, Michael Wilson and Towski Dove in the receiver. That was a quick change that went out there.
Drop a pass, you immediately go to the bench.
Yeah.
I like the formation. Basically 3 guys in the backfield. And Jalen Knox was one of them.
Yeah.
Larry Roundtree now only needs 53 yards to pass Zach Abram.
That's true.
Also 3rd and 9.
Yeah, 3rd and 9 and about to be 3rd and 14 because Mizzou has 12 men on the field.
It feels to me like, I mean, you should at least try that. If they'll let you get
remember Barry Odom said that was going to be his strategy, was to secretly play 12 on defense.
Sometimes it looked like they had 8.
Yeah. So yeah, 3rd and 14. That's not an ideal situation here on the first drive. I would not be surprised if Florida brings some pressure here.
Also, at this rate, we're starting the postgame show at 4:45 a.m. because
that would
a total
not
of
be
37 seconds.
Oh, and there's another penalty.
I'll back that up to 4:47 a.m.
So it's now 3rd and 9 again because Florida jumped off sides.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I mean, yeah, at this rate, the game will not end until like 6 a.m.
It may never end, right. That graphic, Florida has given up 59% on 3rd down.
Yes, it's very bad. I think it's actually the worst among any team that's played more than one game this season, like coming into today.
Striker's right, too. Like, when the center sees them jump, like, you got to snap the ball. Even if your quarterback's not ready, just snap it and get the free play.
Yeah. All right, on 3rd and 9, Bazelak goes deep just too far for Hazelton, so Mizzou will punt.
Well, I mean, they only had the ball for like 1:10 of clock time, but they actually had the ball for like 18 minutes, I think.
Yeah. There's some discussing going on the sidelines between Drinkwitz and Bazelak. I'm wondering if Drinkwitz didn't love the read there or something.
He was semi-open. It would have taken a good throw, but it could have been completed.
I mean, you get, I'm sure you see one-on-one coverage there with Hazelton. I don't hate it, but obviously not a great first series for Mizzou.
It appears
good punt coverage though.
It appears the fans are not thrilled with Damon Hazelton.
Yeah. I mean, the first down drop was bad.
Yeah.
First drop since the
And
Tennessee
it
game.
basically messed up the whole series.
Yes. Yeah. All right. Well, I just saw that Kyle Pitts is on the field. I guess we would have known by now, since we have the list of Florida inactives. But
somebody would have said,
yeah.
He actually may be playing defensive back by the end of the night, though.
That'd be a big defensive back. 6'6". Yeah. So I'm looking no Darius Robinson on the field, at least to start the game. Not that that's a surprise. I'm not sure he would start even when he's fully healthy. So and certainly no Jatorian Hansford.
Like, as much as we talk about this Florida offense, it's mostly about Trask and the receivers. I don't know anything about their running game.
I don't either.
See, that's the kind of analysis you guys come for. I mean, Pierce, the running back.
Yeah, there's a big play there. Looks like a gain of about 30. Yeah. Yeah, a bit of a coverage bust there, it looks like. Let's see. I'm about to watch a replay. Trajan Jeffcoat went upfield instead of sticking with the back, but I don't know if that's on him or Nick Bolton.
Jeffcoat's responsibility, right?
Yeah, I don't think so.
It shouldn't be. That's got to be a linebacker or a safety.
Yeah, and Nick Bolton was going upfield too. I don't know. I don't know. I'd have to watch that again. Oh, Nick Bolton is blitzing.
If I had to guess, I think that's Nick Bolton's guy. Now,
yeah.
I could be wrong.
Kyle Pitts is good.
Yeah, but I don't know. I could be wrong.
Wait.
That looked like Bolton running up into the flat, and while his guy was running down the sideline.
Yeah. You'll see. Tell me when you've watched the.
I mean, Trask looked like he should have got sacked on that next play, and
yeah. Well, see, that's the thing. Yeah, that's the benefit of having Kyle Pitts, who you can just throw the ball up to when pressure's coming.
He's open immediately when he comes off the line. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, not a great start on either side of the ball.
No, not
also
amazing.
Not a great start for the cameraman who just was
good defense on a little tunnel screen there on first down.
But already in field goal range, unless their backup kicker is way worse than the starter, which is
that's possible.
Even that play though, got nothing, but could easily have lost 4. Bolton
yeah,
the tackle.
Actually gained a yard. Yeah. Ooh, second down. The running back got tackled awkwardly, but it looks like he's okay.
Apparently, Martez Manuel is my boy, and he has been exposed on this drive, Dan says.
He's your boy?
I guess, yeah. Maybe because he's from Rockridge? I don't know.
Maybe, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, maybe it's been him. Was he the guy in coverage on Pitts, probably?
He might have been. I don't think I saw a replay of that one.
If you're asking Martez Manuel to defend Kyle Pitts one-on-one, it's going to be a long night.
No, for sure. I mean, yeah, Manuel did say earlier this season that he's usually the guy covering the tight end, but I would think, that's not a winning strategy to have that be the case every play. So Missouri has forced a fourth down. Let's see if Florida goes for it or kicks the field goal. Looks like they might go for it.
I started this. Eric Mullen says they're going for it. So you're apparently behind Eric, and I'm behind you. So
yeah, he might be one of the few who's able to get SEC alternate on real TV instead of streaming.
Right. He also might be one of the few that still has actual cable. Who knows?
Mizzou did not look prepared on that fourth down. Guys still running around when the ball was snapped. The defense didn't look ready.
That's not good.
On fourth down, if that's the situation, you got to call timeout.
I
know it's early to use one, but if your guys don't know where to line up, that's 11 is Devin Nicholson, and he was just running kind of in the general direction of the sideline. Now, don't get me wrong, it didn't really impact the play, but
yeah, man. Anytime. I don't know that any player on Missouri's defense can cover Kyle Pitts one-on-one.
Oh, no way.
Anytime you get him one-on-one.
Because that was Jarvis Ware there.
Ooh, yeah.
Because defensive backs are too small, and
right.
linebackers are
too slow. Mm-hmm. Good play by Jarvis Ware on first down, though. I don't know if you've seen that yet.
I'm about to see it. It is happening as we speak. It was a good play, though. Actually, kind of unfortunate for Missouri that the guy didn't catch the ball.
Yeah.
But so once you get in these situations, second long or even third and goal, I mean, you've got to double Pitts, right? Because otherwise they're just going to throw to him every time.
Yeah. I mean, I think you have to. Yeah, at least, you at least have to have a couple guys help, like one person chip on him and one pick him up or something.
Yeah. Do you think Jarvis Ware was hurt on that play or just came out because it was his time to come out? I wouldn't think you want to take your best corner out on second goal from the 10, but he went to the sideline.
Yeah, I honestly, I missed that. Also, just terrible camera work on the second down play. I don't know if you've seen it yet.
Yeah, I just did see it.
Don't actually know what happened there. It looked like Missouri double Pitts, though.
It looked like he was just throwing it away.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
So third and goal from the 10, yeah.
All right, yep, third and goal from the 10. Let's see.
See, so now like Stryker says nice D, so I don't know if he's talking about second down or if third down has already happened. This adds a whole different layer to the
I just watched third down. Ennis Rakestraw with a really nice play. Forde just kind of threw a fade in the end zone to Kadarius Toney, and Ennis Rakestraw broke it up, almost intercepted it. Really nice play.
Out there one-on-one with probably Florida's best receiver, right?
Yeah, I mean, other than Pitts.
Best wide receiver. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, all things considered, holding to a field goal attempt got to be good. Now I have to look up their kicker's name because I don't have any idea what it is.
Chris Howard, first career field goal attempt.
Who, Howard?
It is good. Just wild to see a kicker wearing 71.
Yeah, I do like that. Well, good for Chris Howard, I guess. What was that, 28?
That was, yes, a 28-yard field goal.
So, I mean, all things considered, really about as bad a start as Missouri could have had on both sides of the ball, and they're only down 3-0. I think they'll take it.
For sure. You definitely take that. Definitely don't want to have a 3-and-out here, but if considering how those first two drives went, it could be certainly worse.
But now, you don't ever want to say, hey, you got to get points on this drive necessarily, because they don't have to get points.
No, I would say you just want to get a first down and not send the defense right back out there.
Right, you got to move the football, and everybody kind of agree. I mean, just good to hold them to 3. Good to, could have been a lot worse.
Mm-hmm.
Real quick, while we got a break, want to point out, guys, that we are sponsored by the Call and Gentry Law Group. They are in Jefferson City, and you can check them out at callgentry.com for really any of your legal needs. But specifically, I know that they're really putting an emphasis on personal injury stuff. So callgentry.com. They have a live chat on their website that you can get in touch with them there. Their phone number's there, email, whatever. Number of ways if you go to callgentry.com to get in touch with them. Again, they'll handle anything, but personal injury is becoming a specialty of theirs. So hopefully none of you are personally injured, but if you are and you get in that situation, definitely get in touch with the Call and Gentry Law Group down in Jefferson City, and they will take care of you. So 3-0, and Florida looked good as advertised. Like, this is going to be a very much bend but don't break game for Missouri on defense, because they're not going to just shut them down.
Yeah, that's what we said in the pregame. You aren't probably going to just hold this Florida team to 10 points like they did Kentucky last week, and that's why I said I think third downs and scoring touchdowns in the red zone will be a big key. For Missouri's offense, keeping Florida from scoring touchdowns in the red zone for Missouri's defense, because I think both teams should be capable of moving the ball. Obviously, I haven't seen that from Mizzou yet.
I think we should do maybe an investigative piece on why Chris Howard wears number 71. That might be a good bye week story for us, is just to get on all the Florida press conferences and say, but why does your kicker wear number 71? What's
I mean, given some of the questions Dan Mullen has had to face lately, he'd probably be thrilled to answer that question.
I mean, Harrison Mevis wearing 92 makes sense. Like, he looks like he could be a defensive end, but that guy looked like a kicker size.
Yeah. I do. It is probably my number one dream for this season to see Mevis get thrown in there on the defensive line at some point. I think he could hold his own.
So, yeah, Missouri going to end up starting at, the 12 on this drive after the penalty?
I don't know. You might have come ahead of me again.
I leapfrogged you somehow?
What's that?
I leapfrogged you somehow?
Yeah, it appears so. I just watched the kickoff.
Okay, Tyler Beatty returned it to the 25. There's a flag. It's on Missouri.
There's a flag, yeah.
So, holding, not blocking the back. But, wow, that's, I don't know. My feed had a really good commercial break there.
Yeah,
really
clearly. It's impressive.
I apparently just skipped an entire commercial or two to jump ahead of you. So.
That is wild.
Yeah, but so it's Roundtree at tailback again. I can't see anything as far as receivers go or anything like that yet. So I was talking pregame. I would assume Nico Hay gets most of the tight end reps, and then Logan Christopherson some, right?
Yeah, that would be my expectation as well.
Yeah,
Nico Hay was already kind of playing most of the snaps.
So Jalen Knox is the number one receiver on this team, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean he's definitely looked the best all season.
Yeah, he's the best combination of usually catches the ball and can make a play after he does.
Mm-hmm. And is versatile, can be used in a lot of different ways.
And apparently was not tired after the first down reception because holy moly, that was.
I have not watched the second play of the drive yet. I'm about to watch it now.
Well, it's a good play by Jalen.
Oh yeah, reverse.
Missouri is in Florida territory, and David says Knox is faster than I realized, and I realized it actually during the Alabama game. Jalen Knox actually looked like a guy that you looked at and said, "Oh yeah, he can run with Alabama."
Oh yeah. He's always been fast. That's always. I mean, you could see it even his freshman year. You know, they used him a lot of times to go deep, but you could see his speed. That's never been an issue with him.
So I assume 2 catches for Logan Christopherson has to now be a career high, correct?
You're far ahead of me now. I'm just now watching the first one, but yes, I think so.
The first one, 2 for the season. I'm saying.
Oh yeah, I think so. I was going to say, I think that catch against Tennessee might have been his first career catch.
I love where we're at in society now that Eric Mullen says we have got to get cable. Like just 2 years ago, everybody was telling me, dude, you got to drop cable. I'm not gonna.
I mean, to be honest, how are you? Does any cable allow you to watch the SEC alternate?
Well, apparently Eric's does.
Yeah, I guess so. Good for him.
But yeah, well, I always laugh, and that it's kind of funny being behind people because I always laugh like when we're at the game, when we're tweeting, people are like, "Can you not tweet so fast because you're tweeting before I can watch it on TV?" And it's like, or you can not read Twitter while you're
exactly.
That would be okay too. I mean, totally your call.
Yeah, if you all want me to get cable, you're gonna have to start ponying up more than $9.95 a month or whatever.
Yeah, I'm up with Jim Bob Shell. Just cut the cord. It's fine. I don't mind being 40 seconds behind. Larry Roundtree, he does not catch a lot of balls out of the backfield.
No, that was I like that third down play though.
Mm-hmm. More complaints about the T-shirts, though. Got to get rid of the undershirts. Can't have the undershirts.
Yeah, that has been
I guess he got tackled by
topic we've heard about the last couple games.
Yeah, Stryker says, amazing how the offense looks when you catch the ball. I mean, it really is. Just it's very difficult to stop an offense if you're just tossing 5-6 yard passes all the time, and If you drop that, though, you got issues. All right, Jim Bob also in favor of getting rid of the undershirts.
We got to – I mean, apparently, we need to pass that on to whoever's in charge of these things.
Yeah, clearly an issue that needs to be raised. I am trying to see if I'm able to get on the stat broadcast page for this game.
Yeah, Larry Roundtree is now up to 16 yards. So
he needs
30. 30 more, 29 more to go. Or no, 39 more, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, I know Knox had a couple drops in the first game, but he's been pretty reliable since then.
Yeah, he had a drop against Tennessee that was bad, but I mean, he's got, he's seen the most passes, and he's been pretty reliable, and he's like I said, you can use him in so many different ways.
Right, and he has a coach who actually is doing so now, which is,
yeah, as opposed to literally just running a go route every play.
Yeah. All right, so Alabama is now up 20-0 on Mississippi State. A&M and Arkansas tied at 7. So.
Yeah, I think I saw Devontae Smith already has 2 touchdowns.
Mississippi State has 0 touchdowns.
That's the norm for them these days.
I think maybe for October.
Yeah.
I guess I could update the Missouri score since that's the one we're actually watching. Sometimes there's just too many things to do. I mean, I'm trying to eat pizza. I'm trying to talk to you. I'm trying to order cable. There's a lot of things happening here.
There's a lot going on. We're doing our best.
So that was, I mean, bad snap, but, or I mean, the third down play, I'm sorry, was, it looked like he was open, and now this is not going to turn out well for Missouri.
Yeah, well, the offensive line kind of got crushed there.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the guy I picked to be the hero is about to not be the hero.
All kickers are mortal, even the great Mevis. Everyone was in love with him, and rightly so after the first few games, but he is a true freshman.
Yeah, I mean, that was what, 30-ish yards? I mean, you got to make that.
Yeah, let's see. It is, like 31, 32. Ugh.
Yeah. Well,
it's pretty bad.
But again, we said, look, they don't have to get points, but they do have to move the ball. They did. So you can live with that drive. I mean, but once you're down there, obviously, you want to cash in. This game should be 3-3. Keegan's wanting to move Mevis to defensive end, so maybe after that kick.
Yeah, I think we should swap out Mevis for Hansford. Just see what happens.
Hansford kicks?
Yes, sure. Why not?
Okay. Yeah. But I mean, that drive showed me, hey, Missouri can move the ball on this team. Like, you should have more. That should not be your only chance. Okay.
Right. No, I agree. But yeah, I mean, I said coming into the game that scoring touchdowns in the red zone would be key. Well, not scoring any points when you get in the red zone obviously is significantly worse. So
yeah.
We'll see if that comes back to bite him.
Dan wants to know if we saw Hazelton last series. I mean, he wasn't targeted. It's kind of hard to tell because they don't show us the all 22 necessarily. I didn't see him on the field, but that doesn't mean he wasn't on the field.
Yeah, same way. I didn't necessarily look for him, but I wouldn't be stunned if he didn't play it after the drop early on. But he did. He came back in. He was in on that third down play on the first series, so I don't think he's done for the night or anything.
I'm getting the spinny wheel on my feed now, so you might jump back ahead of me during this commercial break.
Mm.
So, looking at stats, Jalen Knox has 3 touches for 46 yards. That's pretty good in Missouri. Outside of Knox, though, Missouri has 10 touches for 26 yards. So,
yeah,
I would probably just give the ball to Jalen Knox every play.
It's so far you can't argue with that math.
Seems to be an appropriate strategy to me.
Yeah.
Kind of sad all my Shakespeare's is gone.
That is. That's a tough feeling.
I mean, it's not all gone. Just the amount that I'm supposed to eat is gone.
All right, let's see. I've got my game thread updated here on the message board. So I'm back. I'm curious. Let me know when you see Forde's first snap after the commercial break.
All right. Have you already seen it?
No, I'm seeing it right now.
Okay, now. Mine. I'm still currently in commercial, so I don't really know what happened. But
Well, Kyle Pitts continues to be really good. I mean,
yeah,
Mizzou just had him one-on-one with Devin Nicholson. That's not a matchup you're going to win.
that can't work. So Pitts has 3 catches for 61 yards, and we're not even 11 minutes into the game.
Yeah,
I mean,
I got to be honest. I don't know how that ends up happening one-on-one with in that matchup, because that's just automatic for
Florida has 128 yards on 7 complete passes. Look, I mean, they're not really even trying to run the ball at this point. It's like the reverse of, what Missouri was against Kentucky.
Oh boy, Missouri is now having some major tackling woes here. A little dump off to Dameon Pierce, the running back, gets down inside the 15. Not a good start for the Missouri defense.
So 2 plays, 70 yards, something like that?
Let's see. Florida, on this drive, let's see. Yes, 66 yards in 2 plays.
It's not great. Yeah, who was that there at about the 40-yard line? Could you tell that missed the tackle?
I could not. I know. I know. Saw Jarvis Ware missed a tackle early in the play. Might have been him.
I mean, Pitts catches. Like, I thought Tyree Gillespie had made a good play there, and Pitts caught it anyway.
Wait, what play are you talking about?
On the oh no, he did not catch it. I guess Gillespie knocked it away. 1st and 10 from the.
You might be ahead of me. Oh yeah, okay. I just saw.
I opened up a new window because I got tired of being behind, and so I think.
So yeah.
I think what happens to streaming, for anybody who wonders, like when it pauses there, it doesn't skip forward. It just picks up. So every time it pauses, you're just losing time and basically watching on a delay.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm watching the 2nd down play right now.
So now we're even.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. Nice. I mean, that was good coverage. I wouldn't say that was a throwaway, but there was no way that pass was going to be complete.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, another big down here for Mizzou. I mean, bend don't break is absolutely okay against Florida, because like we said, you're not just going to completely shut them down. So
and like we were talking about pregame, I mean, you're going to have to score. If you hold them to 3 per possession, I'm not sure that's good enough, but that's like. I mean, they're probably going to get 9 possessions. That's 27 points. You'd be okay with it.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Mizzou brings pressure on 3rd down, and it works out. Chris Turner with a sack. That's kind of a rare sighting. Made the play.
I actually thought Trask was down the first time.
I kind of did too. Was that Devin Nicholson who came in the first time? Let's see here. No, it's Trajan Jeffcoat. And yeah, I thought,
I thought his knee hit the ground back at the. No, he just put the ball down and managed to stay on his feet, I guess.
Nice play by Chris Turner to clean it up.
Yeah, like right before that play, Dan Dorr was calling for quarterback pressure. So they listened, Dan. So whatever you want to happen on the next offensive drive, just type it here and it's going to happen. Like, that's how it works.
All right, let's see if 71 can make another kick. And he does. So
I think the problem is Mevis' number is too high. He needs more of an offensive line number than a defensive
for sure. I mean, not a great start for the Missouri defense, but to only be down 6-0 is, relatively fortunate. Obviously, you would want the 3 points from the Mevis field goal, but it could be a lot worse right now.
Yeah, and I mean, basically, Florida's dominating this game, and you're 1 play away from being in the lead. So I think you'll take that. All right, so let's run through. I'll run through some numbers while Mitchell's updating the message board real quick. Kyle Trask, 7 of 12, 128 yards, quarterback rating of 147.9. Bazelak, 4 for 7, 22 yards, rating of 83.5. Jalen Knox, the big play for Missouri, 1 carry for 32 yards. Also their leading receiver with 2 catches for 14. For Florida, Kyle Pitts, 3 catches, 61 yards on 5 targets already. Pierce, the running back, a 34-yard catch and 2 runs for 10 yards. Florida's only run the ball twice, and then that was not actually a sack. It didn't go down as a sack for Chris Turner. It went down as a scramble for Trask because he officially did not lose any yardage, and it has to be lost yardage to count as a sack. So Turner gets the tackle, but
not the sack. Also, the time of possession currently says Mizzou 10:41 and Florida 2:09, but that drive was 2:09. So they're just apparently pretending Florida didn't have the ball the first time.
Yeah, that's not correct.
No, that it would have been correct at this time last week, I think, because
yes, that's true. Although it wasn't the first quarter wasn't as much Mizzou having the balls. It just as the game went on, they never gave it up.
Yeah, it was more the second and third quarter where they didn't touch the ball.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Commercials seem really long when I watch games like this.
When you talk through them, yeah.
Yeah.
Dan wants to know what kind of candy you're giving out tonight, Gabe.
I don't think we're actually giving out candy because we live on a busy street where we don't get a lot of kids, and I don't know. I'm giving out nothing. Like I'm up in my office. I'm not even going to know if somebody comes to the door. So
you hate children.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean,
Sad.
My kids are old. They don't trick or treat themselves. So as far as I'm concerned, no kids trick or treat.
Harsh.
All right. Jake says it seems like we've been really close to some picks. Yeah, Gillespie looked like he was close to one on that ball to Pitts at the 10, and Rakestraw was semi-close to one in the end zone. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Drinkwitz did say earlier this year when they tend to come in bunches. We'll see. Missouri's still looking for.
Is Jake right that they don't have an interception this season?
He is. They only have 2 takeaways, and one forced fumble against Bama and the forced fumble last week.
I'm being accused of giving out toothbrushes. I've got some apples in the fridge. We're just going to toss those at kids as they walk by.
Just chuck them at them.
For the record, this is the first year we've not given out candy. We always have in the past. I appreciate that at least Missouri is attempting to return kickoffs tonight.
So you're back ahead of me.
Catching it for like 3 weeks.
Yeah. You keep having commercial breaks that speed up on me.
Just FYI, like if you want to catch up, you can basically copy the address and open it in a new window, and that skips to.
Well, I got it on the Fire Stick on the TV.
Oh, okay.
So I can next commercial break may exit out and come back in. Looks like a relatively decent crowd there. I can't tell. Some of those might be cardboard people.
Well, Hazelton with some of them definitely are cardboard cutouts. Hazelton held on to the ball. Also, Florida looks exactly like East St. Louis High School. So
it looks what?
Like East St. Louis High School, the uniform.
Oh, it does. Yes. No, I think it is. Yeah, it is. The logo might be the exact same. Yeah. And the whole uniform might be the exact same, actually. I just saw the Hazelton catch. Good play.
So, yeah, I mean, Missouri not having much trouble moving the ball through the air. The running game has been okay, but not as obviously outside of the reverse to Knox, which counts as rushing yardage, but it's not exactly a traditional running play.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, throwing the ball, I mean, Basilak's had plenty of time, and I mean, when they've actually caught the ball, it's worked. Somebody asking if Kiki Chisholm's played. I can't see.
Yeah, I think he was in on the first snap, but I'm not sure I've seen him since.
It looks like Towski Dove is out there with Knox and Hazelton, at least right here on this drive.
Yeah. I'll keep an eye out for that for sure.
That second down throw, I'm not sure where Basilak's going exactly. I'm not sure who the intended receiver is. It looked behind one guy and short of another guy, and I'm not really sure which one he wanted to throw it to.
I still haven't seen it because they let the play clock all the way down. All right, here we go. Oh, yeah. I don't know. It seems like Knox just didn't end up where he expected him to end up.
All right, so they're now snapping the ball on third down for me. And Connor Bazelak got away, which was fairly impressive. Didn't go anywhere, but I thought he was going to lose 10 yards. Managed to lose none, but it's 4th and 10, and now you're getting into dangerous territory. Now you're punting the ball right back to Florida. You haven't really stopped them yet. You can't just rely on, hey, let's hold them to 3 every time they get down to the 12-yard line.
Yeah, and I know, I know the passing game has been working, but it's kind of hard to. I mean, it's easy to second guess a series that doesn't work when you have 0 runs. I mean, obviously that last play went to the run, not a designed run.
No, they ran the ball on the first down. On 1st and 10, they handed it to Roundtree and he got a yard.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, my bad.
And then the second down throw, like I think it was just a bad throw. Like I know we're at this point where we're not supposed to criticize Connor Bazelak, but it was a bad throw, and that threw off the series. And then Zeke Powell really didn't block his guy on 3rd down.
Yeah.
So now this, I mean, again, if you give up a field goal, you can survive it. Don't get me wrong. If you give up points, it's not the worst thing in the world. But at some point, you need to show you can stop them before they get to your 11-yard line.
All right, I'm going to try to catch my stream up here.
Okay. Well, good news for Missouri to start this series. Kyle Pitts is on the sideline, so that's good.
Yeah, that's always a win.
Well, T-Rise says, uh-oh, I'm not sure what's coming, but I don't know. First play got nothing. I don't know what uh-oh is, but
we may be about to find out. That is suspenseful. End of the first quarter.
I don't think they're going to run another play.
Yeah, you're right.
Maybe you guys are hearing something on the broadcast that I'm not. I don't know.
Yeah, let us know.
Because obviously, again, just so you guys know, and I think we've got some people here who probably haven't been here doing this with us before because we've got just more people than we've had a couple times in the past. We can't listen to the broadcast while this happens because if we did that, the broadcast the sound would bleed over our broadcast, and then we get in trouble and we have to pay, broadcast fee rights. I don't know what ESPN is paying to broadcast this game, but I know it's more than I would want to pay because at the end of the year, Missouri gets a $43 million check. So basically we can't do that is my point. So we can't hear. We're completely relying on just our eyes and whatever you guys tell us. So if uh-oh is related to something we should know, I'm interested to see what it is. I'm also going
let us know, T-Rise.
Yeah, I'm also going to go ahead and update stats here while we can.
Case says we're still watching the UK game. Not true. You got to go easy on us streamers. We're not that far behind.
No, not at all. Like a play behind, maybe.
Yeah. T-Rise says he was just reacting to giving the ball right back without scoring points. So
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And again, it is kind of weird because some people are behind us, some people are ahead. So you never know exactly what some of the comments are about. All right, so going through stats here, and I mean the biggest difference, obviously, in passing yardage, 128 to 37 in favor of Florida, and I mean, that's fairly reflective of what we've seen. Missouri's had a couple open guys. They've had some time, but Missouri hasn't sustained anything really yet. Florida has sustained 2 drives. Both teams have been good on 3rd down, though. Defensively, Missouri's 1 for 4. Florida's 0 for 3. So,
Yeah. That's. I mean, getting those stops in the red zone has been important. Obviously, 6-0 sounds a lot better than 10-0 or 14-0.
Yeah, and neither team has a turnover.
Correct.
But I don't know if I'd say Florida has dominated, but Florida has pretty clearly been the better team so far.
Yeah, I mean, they've moved the ball pretty much at will. So yeah, they've looked better, but no, it's not been a domination. I mean, Missouri should have points on the board. So we'll see. It seems, still obviously feels like it's early.
All right, after another 12-minute commercial between quarters, so Florida's going to have the ball at 2nd and 9 on its own 23. Yeah, I don't know. Just it was after last week. It was just kind of a normal quarter of football, right? I mean,
Yeah.
of course, last week in the first quarter seemed like it was going to be a normal game, and then Tennessee basically, or I mean, Kentucky basically just quit functioning on offense after that.
Yeah. Well, they had to try to throw, and that didn't go well. I will say, one of the things that I was at least watching for in this game was how Florida would, react to not having practiced for 2 weeks and not having played for 3 weeks. Obviously, they came out executing pretty well.
Yeah. And I think leaning on, their best players. I mean, throwing the ball to Kyle Pitts, I think 5 times in that. Yeah, they targeted him 5 times. He caught 3 of them. So and then leaning on Kyle Trask, who probably at this point has enough of a grasp of the offense where he doesn't need quite as much practice as some guys. And down the middle of the field, sometimes you got to give credit to the other guy. I mean, that's a really nice throw by Kyle Trask.
Yeah.
It wasn't a terrible coverage or anything, just a hell of a throw.
Yeah. You don't see many games like we saw last week where the other team just doesn't move the ball in modern football. It's impossible to play like that now.
Yeah. T-Rod's taking another seemingly unnecessary shot at my pizza, says that Missouri's defense need to start playing like they had meat on their pizza. Don't knock the Arkansas, man. It's good stuff. Give me a little credit here.
I want to hear from some of our drinking viewers. Anyone have an update on that front?
Yeah. Well, I know Justin Ferguson, who does Jaeger bombs every weekend. He said he had something to do today, so he couldn't be in the.
So Trask goes to the sideline for a play here. They bring in number 2, who I don't think that's not Emory Jones. Wildcat play.
Wildcat, right?
Yeah. Someone named Richardson, who I don't know.
I mean, it should have been stopped for 3 yards, and it got 8 because he just kind of ran over Devin Nicholson and then rolled over another guy.
Mm-hmm. And they're going to keep him in again for short yardage, it looks like.
Richardson. That's all I know. I'm going with Sheldon. Patrick Aarons wants to know if Florida can get Felipe Franks back. I mean, it would help Missouri.
Fans would not mind that. Yeah.
Anthony Richardson, freshman from Gainesville. Okay.
So we had a whistle before 3rd down here. I'm not sure if it was a timeout or a penalty. False start, so that's big. Makes you 3rd and 6 instead of 3rd and 1.
So the bad news.
Oh, wow.
What's that?
I see what's about to happen on our comments.
Yeah, me too. So now so the interception woes are about to end, and we'll see who it is.
Yeah.
I was just about to say before we found out what happened that the bad news for Missouri was that Kyle Trask was coming back in the game. But
so Missouri brings pressure. I think it was Nick Bolton hits Trask as he throws.
Oh yeah, that was.
And Jarvis there with pick 6. Wow.
There's legitimately no one on that side of the field. I mean, also a pretty nice return.
The receiver.
And Ware nearly fumbled it at the 2-yard line.
Yeah, he did. The receiver ended up going deeper because Trask got hit as he threw. There was a very unexcited Missouri fan in the stands.
Maybe that's the father of a backup cornerback, and so he knows that he's not going to get to play now because Jarvis Ware just did that. I mean, that's how you flip a game in a hurry, though, right? Because again, Florida still has mostly been dominant in this game, but Missouri's now got the lead. Huge play. And I'm stunned that there wasn't like a tight end or a running back or anybody back there on that side of the field. Jarvis Ware was just like, he could have jogged 55 yards.
So apparently Mizzou is doing a turnover like boxing robe now.
Okay.
Yeah. You see it on your broadcast.
Yeah, I saw it. I still am a little bit preferable to the turnover money bag that Lane Kiffin had in week 1.
Money bag is good.
But, the robe is okay.
Yeah, Stryker says it's the Mike Tyson robe. I'm gonna have to just defer to you and say okay. All right, so plenty of people are getting spoiler alerts out of the comments, but you know, it's all right. Yeah, so Nick
If you
Bolton.
don't want to, if you want, it's very possible to still have our audio on and not actually like see the YouTube comments as they pop up.
Right. But I mean, Nick Bolton, like you said, he's the one that made that. He flashed through on a he has a knack for he times blitzes really well.
He does. Yeah, he's a smart player.
Yeah. So it wasn't a terrible throw by Trask. His arm did get hit. Yeah, so clearly the turnover robe will be a section in tonight's notebook, I would think, right?
I'll at least ask about it.
If we get Jarvis Ware, yeah, it's
I assume we will.
So, yeah, I mean that really flips everything. I mean,
it does, yeah.
You know, that changes the whole outlook because now you have an offense where you're going, hey, if we can just figure out a little something on offense, then we might be in decent shape. I mean, it buys your offense some time. Dan says he wishes the game was over. I mean, the other things Dan have asked for has come true. So maybe all of a sudden they'll just come back from commercial and be like, we'll call it. We're done. No more game.
It's just like a natural disaster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Patrick needs that robe. I mean, it might be a little weird, honestly, if you're just like strolling out to get your newspaper in it. But you're calling.
Try to get 573Ts on that, our guys. Maybe they'll start making robes.
Yeah, 573robes.com. Did it now? Now we need to know what the robe said. Apparently, it said something on. I would assume it said like Mizzou, but maybe I'm.
Yeah, I didn't see.
So yeah, so I had put 55. It looked like it was closer to about 59, and I mean he really didn't even get a block. Like Adam Sparks was out in front and kind of pretended like he was going to block a guy, but he didn't actually do it. It was just like I'm going to jog 59 yards here.
Mm-hmm. It appears that the robe on the back might say like turnover champ or something like that.
Okay.
I'm seeing a photo on
Jarvis
Twitter.
Ware's usually an entertaining interview, so hopefully you'll get him after the game.
Yeah. Joe Wall Jasper says he wants a turnover robe for Christmas.
Okay. All right. Well, now we maybe next month instead of sending him a paycheck, I'll just buy him a robe.
He says he would appreciate that.
But I don't think he wants like just a robe off the rack from Kohl's.
No, he wants the turnover robe.
Yeah.
I would predict that'll make an appearance.
All right, so where are you at now? Florida's just about to snap.
I just watched Nick Bolton make another very good play for tackle for loss.
Oh yeah. Okay, so we're very close. Yeah, Nick Bolton is. I mean, he is all over the place.
He's a good player. Also, Florida should consider blocking him.
It wouldn't be the worst strategy, I guess.
Yeah.
Number 70 was kind of jogging along, blocking no one in particular, so it's possible he could have.
Yeah, it's better than the Florida play where the two offensive linemen blocked each other, I suppose.
Alex Schiffers joined the show. So.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. He called last week. We talked on the show, not just like in general in life. Okay, so 3rd and 4-ish. I mean, this is a chance. You get off the field here, then you've really kind of flipped things around.
Yeah, momentum for sure.
I'm going to go out on a limb before I see this play. If I'm Florida, I'm probably going to throw it 84.
Yeah, I mean, especially if he gets any sort of one-on-one matchup. Someone's one-on-one at the top.
It would be very easy to tackle Josh Bledsoe by his undershirt.
That's true.
It's almost skirt-like.
All right. I'll have to watch this 3rd down. No, it looks like there's a whistle.
Well, shocking in this game that there would be a whistle.
So Florida calls timeout. Yeah, so big play here for momentum purposes.
Yeah. I mean, and defense is so interesting because it much more than offense, it's about just making a play at the right time. Like Missouri is not really playing all that well on defense, but they've made 3 plays at the right time. I mean, they got 2 stops inside the 15-yard line and then obviously changed the game there with that pick 6. So 3 out of, let's see how many offensive plays Florida has run. Well, I can't find that number apparently. So
let's see, Florida
they run 22 plays.
22 plays.
So 3 out of 22 is not really a very good ratio, but they've been so big that Missouri's leading the game.
Yeah, and I mean, the 2 red zone stops is more than just one play. Obviously, stop them on first, second, and third down. Right. So they were both third and long situations. Stop
trying to change my point, please. They've only made 3.
But no, you're right, and then that is kind of football in 2020. Is you don't expect the defense to go out and totally stop an opponent, but making plays at the right time is what counts.
See, here's what I like about this format is now just there are side conversations breaking out about Joe Walljasper's column and stuff. So that's great. Like, we'll throw your comments up on the broadcast, but please feel free, to interact with each other, all that. That's kind of why we're here. I'm trying to move the logo out so it's not covering your head, Mitch. Sorry about that. Bob Douglas, I'm sure, is upset.
Yeah. You'll probably be hearing from him about that.
Also, I just get bored during the commercials, so I like to move things around the screen. All right, let's actually I'm gonna take a second to see what else. Alabama now up 27-0 going to halftime. A&M.
Yeah, Devontae Smith has like 160 yards and 3 touchdowns in the first half.
So they don't need Jalen Waddle even.
Well, against Mississippi State, they don't need Jalen Waddle.
Right. But, I mean, A&M or Arkansas hanging with A&M, 14-7. What was the line on that? It was pretty low. I feel like it was 1 score.
I kind of feel like it was like 10 or 12.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so it could be 1 score. It would just be a really big score.
I don't think it could be 1 score, actually.
All right, so Eric Mullins is the fastest viewer here. I already know what happens on 3rd down, despite the fact that we just came back. So. Keegan wants a Power Mizzou branded turnover robe. Not the worst idea.
I mean, if anyone's getting
not the
Power
best
Mizzou branded turnover robe, it's us first.
Yeah, it's not the best idea, but it's not the worst idea. All right, Striker wants
watching the 3rd down play now. Good coverage.
So we're at pretty much the same spot now. So
yeah, not the most accurate throw ever.
But I mean, he just had nobody to, that took. That
it actually looked like the official got in the way at 3. Was open earlier in the play, but the official was right in between Trask and him.
Okay, so Striker was asking for Missouri's 3rd down defense on the year, so I am about to look that up. If you give me just a minute, give you guys a hint here.
I know that entering today, they had held their last 2 opponents to a combined 2 of 19 on 3rd down.
Which is funny because the first couple of weeks they were terrible, right?
So Florida is saying that a Mizzou player touched that punt. I didn't think so, but I'm curious to see a replay.
So I don't know. Okay, so Missouri is 38th in the country coming into this game. Their opponents were 17 for 46 on 3rd downs, 36.9%. Kind of basically middle of the pack. All right. Now, here's the replay. That's Cade Musser. He nearly fell down.
He didn't touch it.
I don't even know where the ball is. I don't see a Missouri player even close to it unless it's just terrible camera work.
Yeah.
It didn't look. Who's number 10?
I think Chris Mills.
Okay. I mean, I don't think it hit him. It didn't really even look all that close, did it?
We got to see a
I didn't
side
think
angle
so.
because that angle they're showing
Yeah.
us, you can't tell. Well, it's my computer's gonna.
Yeah, I've not seen a camera angle that really gives me even a close look. Yeah, this does nothing for me, these angles.
Right. I mean, there's just no angle that they've shown that. At first, I was kind of with you though. I was like, what are they even talking about?
Right.
See, now Robert's asking why punt return has been such a nightmare. I mean, it had been in the first, but that's not. The kick didn't get to him. Like that's not really anything.
Right. I mean, that's
Missouri's.
certainly not on the returner. You would. I think Musser probably yelled something, and clearly, Chris Mills didn't either hear him or get out of the way fast enough, which is
right. Also, when you're
issue,
running downfield with your back to the line of scrimmage, I mean, sometimes there's not much you can do.
Yeah.
They said ruling on the field stands, I think, which basically means,
I didn't see any way you could overturn it.
There would have had to have been access to some camera angle we didn't see. I mean,
yeah.
Patrick is also lobbying for a Power Mizzou robe with sequins on the back and a dragon. So
I'm not sure about that one.
573Ts. Look, I know they watch some of our stuff, so get to work. Power Mizzou dragon robe for sale. I feel like that's going to take enough work. We're going to have to sell that for like $220 each.
Oh boy, Connor Bazelak is throwing deep.
And that's nice too.
My.
I mean, that's a drop, right? It's not a perfect pass. He's not going to score.
No, but he needs to catch that.
But that's a ball you got to catch, yeah.
We were just praising his hands too.
All right, so.
Oh man, that's a terrible drop on the replay.
So I've adjusted the audio levels. Some people are saying that Mitch is a lot louder than I am, so I've messed with the audio levels. Hopefully that helps things out. I sound louder to me now, so hopefully I am louder. I don't know. It's kind of hard, but nice job by Larry Roundtree on second down to kind of make up for being in second and 10.
Yeah. Also, Joe just calls me other guy. I see now. Come on, Joe.
Yeah,
I got
other guy. He's the anti-Bob Douglas.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bob will get in here in it.
So another drop is coming up here.
Seems so.
Who's that?
That wasn't a drop. I don't know. That was Micah Wilson. I mean, it was just a good play by the defender.
Okay. Well, okay. Because the comments had indicated it was a drop, but I was about to say,
I mean, it hit him in the hand, but the defender just punched it out. I don't think that counts as a drop.
Okay.
Unless there's another drop coming.
Right, which is certainly Larry Roundtree. That was like a Wile E. Coyote run where he like started one way and then went back the other way.
Little loop, yeah.
That was intriguing. It's fairly unproductive, but actually a pretty decent job to get back to the line. Case Cook appeared to be responsible for blocking 4 guys on that play. I mean, like, look, I know he was the offensive lineman of the week and seemed to have a pretty good week, but that seems unreasonable to me.
So we have a Kiki Chisholm sighting.
So it's 4th and a foot, I think.
It looks like it. I mean, he's good. You got to think Drink is good.
You've got to go for it here. No question, you're going for it here. Keegan's asking about where the guy is who was drinking 14 beers during the Alabama game. He was on the pregame show. He promised me a drunken call on the postgame show. So,
well, you have to stay tuned.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, you've got to go for it, and they are. And I'm going to do you guys a favor. Look, I won't post the comments here until we've seen what happens. So if you guys want to avoid the spoilers, you can avoid them. If you want to read the comments as they come in, that's obviously your choice. But I won't post the comments on the broadcast until I know at least Mitch and I are caught up.
so that we don't.
Yeah, so it looks like it was 4th and about 6 inches.
Yeah, I mean, this is like just quarterback sneak. I don't mess with anything other than that. Even if you want to put Sean Robinson in, if he's better at that than Bazelak is, I don't know which one's bigger, honestly, but just sneak the ball. I wouldn't even mess with the handoff.
Yeah,
because this is a drive where if you go down and score 6 here, I mean, that kind of change. I mean, all of a sudden, you're really putting pressure on. I almost said LSU. I don't even know who Missouri's playing. On the opponent, on other guy.
Yeah.
8 of 12. I mean, this is only the 5th game, so they basically are going for it 3 times a week. I like that.
Yeah,
it's fun.
I mean, they went for it, I think, 5 against Kentucky.
Is that right? 3 on one drive, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, why did Missouri not snap the ball? Florida jumped.
Yeah, man, really?
What? I mean, what?
They got to work on that.
Eddie just has to snap the ball.
Yeah, Drinkwitz is furious.
That is 100. Yeah, I mean, and he's 100%. Stryker just sums it up in all caps. What are doing?
Yeah, well, did you see Drinkwitz screaming at Eddie there?
Yeah, and that is 100% on a 5th-year grad transfer center. And, like, credit to Missouri's offensive linemen for not, like, coming up out of their stance, but Eric brings up a good point. If the offensive guard stands up there, they're going to call offsides on Florida, but you don't want to stand up just in case, they don't.
Right.
I mean,
well, so I'm sure their instruction was, especially if Mizzou wasn't even going to snap the ball, I'm sure their instruction was, if we're trying to draw them offsides, just don't move no matter what.
So do we think now they're not going for it?
I don't know.
I would still go.
I mean, I still would.
Okay, now Dan brings up a good point. We've got our third string offensive.
Screamed at Eddie, snap the ball.
Right. Dan says we've got our third string offensive line in there, but you don't have your third string center. You have your starting 5th-year grad transfer center. That's him. That's not on the offensive guard. It's not on the tackles. That's on the center. He's got to see that and just snap the ball. Because if you snap the ball, you have first down. Nothing else has to happen. Sir Mufflebuns wants to know why he's yelling at the ref. He's not. He's yelling at Mike Mayetti.
He was. He yelled at Mayetti, and then he went to yell at the ref. I think he was just frustrated in general, and so after he got done yelling at Mayetti, just decided to go ahead and yell at the ref too.
Okay, now they're saying if Case Cook reached out and touched him, that's a defensive penalty.
Well, if Case Cook reacts at all, they're calling that offsides.
Or they should. They should.
Right, but I do think there's a chance that the instructions for the offensive line there was just don't move. We'll try to draw him offsides.
So we'll take a look. If he made contact, obviously it should have been offsides. But also, Mayetti, yes, has to snap the ball. I mean, there's no question. I would 100% still go for it. The fact they called a timeout indicates they probably won't. But there is almost no situation in which I wouldn't go for it on 4th and 6 inches.
Yeah, I mean, they're at midfield too.
Right.
It's not like they're at their own 10.
Andy Love brings up a good point. That's one thing Drew Lock was really good at, was getting a free play. And, I mean, he didn't mess around with it. He went deep on it every time. If you notice,
that's what you should do.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes is great at that too. Like, if a guy jumps, and I'm not saying they're the same quarterback, obviously, but if the guy jumps, Mahomes gets the snap, and he is launching that ball as far as he can throw it.
Yeah, that's what you should do. I mean, definitely, that's something to practice for sure. Is
okay? Now
the
Reagan Myers is saying it was Javon Foster who moved once the Florida guys came across, but he just didn't, like, it wasn't quite obvious. Because watching that play, I didn't see anybody move right away.
I didn't either. I didn't think a single Mizzou offensive lineman moved.
So we'll have to see the.
I'm watching a replay now.
I don't, and Missouri's punting, and I don't like it. Sorry, I
also think I think there is a case to be made that offside should have gone ahead and been called since Foster moved. But also, I mean, the easiest fix there is just snap the ball.
But Foster did move. I mean,
Yeah, I think that should have been called offsides.
So, bad play by the offensive line, bad call, and I think bad decision by Drinkwitz here. I think you go for it.
I agree. I'm like you said, unless you're like at your own 10, you trust your offense to gain 6 inches.
Okay, so now this is interesting because Stryker's saying Missouri could be up 8 to 10 if they could catch the ball and do basic things like hike on and offsides. Florida's also looking at a team that stalled twice inside the 15 and thrown a pick 6. Florida thinks they should be up 14-0. So my only point is both teams can play this game, and we just tend to focus on the team that we want to win. So I think Florida's equally looking at this saying we've blown opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
And I disagree with Dan. He says drop TD pass. That's not a touchdown pass to Jalen Knox. That ball wasn't thrown well enough.
But I mean, it puts him in
It's a 45-yard gain, but it's not a touchdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, and see, now you punt it in the end zone, and I understand he still gained 35 yards, but, like, that seems to go against kind of everything that Drinkwitz has done previously punting there. Especially as an underdog. Like, you're a 2-touchdown underdog. Florida's supposed to beat you. In the end, it's probably not, like, what loses the game, but I would have gone for it. Missouri's tackling's been less than perfect in this game.
It has not been great. Mainly on this Pierce guy.
Yeah. This seems to not be nearly as quickly moving as the Kentucky and Tennessee games.
Yeah, which is a shame
because
this is a later one.
Right, yeah. Only the early games move quickly.
Yeah. There was better tackling on that first down run.
Missouri's at least forcing Trask to move a little bit in the pocket.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Is this offensive pass interference here?
It is. I'm just not sure if it's on the guy that caught the ball or on somebody else.
I think it's got to be the guy who caught the ball.
Obviously, I can't hear. But, yeah, they're focusing the camera on him, so I'm assuming so.
Mm-hmm. I kind of thought he pushed off.
I think SEC alternate needs more cameras. That's what I think. I mean, is that? I don't know. Maybe I didn't. Maybe you can see it from behind. I didn't really see.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't see it on that first replay.
So now, what? You're second and 20 something.
Yeah, I think that was at half the distance to the goal penalty.
Yeah, and I mean Florida got most of it back, but still, you got them in 3rd and 10. You know.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I agree with Stryker. Like, I didn't see an angle that necessarily showed me that was pass interference. I didn't see an angle that showed me it wasn't either. I just kind of hard to tell.
Right, that one angle from behind didn't show much. All right, 3rd and 11. Certainly would want to get off the field here.
Yeah, this would seem to be. Missouri only rushed 3 there, and still managed to get pressure, which indicates good coverage downfield. And did he catch that? Is that a catch or was it incomplete?
No, it is not a catch. Ball comes out.
Because he overthrew the guy he was trying to get it to, and the guy behind him almost made the catch. But
yeah, very close.
To get pressure with 3, that's pretty impressive. I mean, I know it.
Yeah, I mean, Coat and Trey Williams both pushed their tackles and got off their blocks.
6 looked like he kind of. I was gonna say short armed it. Maybe he just has short arms though. Like,
maybe he's just short.
Yeah, because I thought it looked like he short-armed it, but then looking at the replay, I think it was extended. He just couldn't get there.
Eight should have caught it. That's a drop. Oh man, close to a block on the punt.
Yeah, they were close to getting that. See, Jake says the TV guys are bad. I don't know if he's talking about the cameras or the announcers, but if he's talking about the announcers, that's why you just mute them and listen to us. I mean, because we're obviously incredibly good at this, even if sometimes we're 42 seconds behind Eric.
Right, we can't give you play-by-play on what you might be watching, but we can, we can at least, we have unparalleled insight.
I like that description. Unparalleled. I'm there. I mean, look, all things considered, I think both teams actually feel decent about where they're at, right? Because both teams look at it and said, we made a lot of mistakes. We haven't played great, but we're right there in a 1-point game.
Yeah. I mean, certainly good to see Missouri's defense settle in. I think that, that pick six obviously was a big momentum play for them because those first two Florida drives, it looks like they might be able to just move the ball at will.
This is
and it certainly seems like they've made some sort of an adjustment on Kyle Pitts because I haven't noticed him open and he hasn't been targeted, I don't think, since that second drive.
Yeah, I think you're right. They haven't even thrown him at the ball. This is where I draw the line. We've now insulted my pizza and my golf game in the same night. Dan says the turf looks like the fairway when I get done. First of all, the fairway is freaking pristine when I'm done because I don't hit.
I was about to say the same thing.
It might look like the rough after I'm done, but the fairway is fine when I'm done. Second of all, only I get to insult my golf game. And again, Dan says Mizzou could be up 17-6. They could be, but Florida's also looking at this thinking they could be up 14-0. So, because Missouri really hasn't moved the ball. So Florida's going, well, they shouldn't have scored. So both teams can definitely play that. The TV guys seem very pro Gators. Again, I can't hear them, but the only rule about TV guys is they hate your team. Whichever team you like, they hate. That's the rule. Good point here by Joe, who, by the way, earlier Mitchell said, sorry, your name just slipped his mind for a minute. He actually did know it.
Okay. I was not that offended.
I think actually you should change your author profile on Power Mizzou to other guy for a few days. He says it's only Drinkwitz's second year as a head coach. He's going to have some growing pains, and that's true. And look, I'm not killing him for not going for it. Not going for it is actually the conventional call. It's what most coaches would do there. I would have gone for it. Given his past history, I thought he would go for it, but I'm not killing him for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's not like that's a crazy decision to punt the ball there. I think you'd see probably more coaches than not actually do that.
Is Stryker pointing out this is making the shootout prediction look silly? I totally agree, although I'm far from the only one that made it. I think all four people on our Florida site, you, Mitch, I think Dave Matter, everybody picked this as a game in the 30s. Right?
Yeah,
which
it can still get there.
It still obviously could be,
Yeah, but I think, the lower scoring, the better for Missouri.
Probably, yeah. I like oh man, that was a shot. But I do like the way that Drinkwitz has used Nico Hay this year. Like he's found some creative ways and pretty impressive.
Yeah, you got popped there.
Yeah, huge shot.
Yeah, no, they have. They've found some creative ways to use him. And he's been solid. I mean, he's only been playing really like the real tight end position for a couple of years now. So he was more of a split out wide guy at CBC. So promising player.
Nice pump fake there, and that is. I could be wrong. I think that's the first touch for Tyler Beatty tonight, other than a kickoff return.
He had a rush for like 2 yards on the first possession.
Did he? Okay.
Yeah. Or maybe the second possession, one of the two.
Dan must be a cable guy because he's a full play ahead.
See, now you're ahead of me again.
But the interesting thing is knowing whether this actually is going to be pass interference or if Dan just thinks it should be pass interference. This adds a level of intrigue to the game that I just get to guess what's happening. I enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they threw the flag, and I think I don't know if it's going to be PI. I think it's probably defensive hold, but
I'm watching it now. Yeah, it's definitely holding.
I agree with Stryker, man. Like, the SEC alternate needs to borrow some of SEC regulars' cameras. You know,
Yeah, I don't know what the deal
is.
is. I mean, I don't know. Maybe like I know some stadiums it's like harder to get good camera angle setups, but there's been some
It's
bad
also
angles.
probably, to be fair, a little tougher with COVID. There's probably some restrictions about how many cameras there can be and where they can set up and all that. But I have yet. Was that ball tipped? Because if that ball's tipped at the line, there's no penalty.
Right. Well, you can still call defensive holding, I think, when a ball's tipped, just not pass interference.
Is that right? Okay.
But it does look like it's tipped. But I'm pretty sure you can still call holding.
So that's got to be a play where Kiki Chisholm was going to throw the ball, right?
I'm watching it now.
I mean,
yeah, it looks like he's looking to throw.
And I understand why, as a wide receiver, you probably aren't really prepared to throw that ball away, but that did not fool anybody, certainly.
No, and yeah, I mean, certainly someone missed the block, I think.
Lost, what, 13 yards, something like that?
15, I think, yeah. All right, great. I'm watching a replay now. Yeah, I mean, there were definitely players running patterns, but they were well covered, and then not a lot of blocking.
Now Roundtree's running backwards. And there's a penalty, which I assume is going to be for a hold. This is a situation I might just punt on third down.
On third down, yeah. Well, if they take the penalty, it'll be 2nd and 35.
Right,
not
and
really
because
third
if it's any indication, your next play is probably losing yardage, so you're actually punting from further back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Chisholm, we've seen him throw the football. He's capable of doing it. So. But basically, the mistake, like, you got to give Florida's defense credit. They're playing well, and the misdirection and stuff doesn't really seem to be fooling them much.
Yeah, no, you're right. They've definitely prepared for that. Third and 28 is not the best down.
No, but I like that. Just get some and punt it.
Yeah, I haven't seen the play yet. I'll try to catch my stream up at the commercial break. Bobby Lawrence in at left tackle.
Okay.
Not sure if Zeke Powell got hurt or was.
Why benched. Is Florida calling a timeout there? I don't
know. I really don't know.
Understand. Okay, so Bryce says running those plays back to back is hard to excuse. I mean, the second play is just a handoff to Larry Roundtree.
Right, yeah. That second play was in no way meant to be tricky. It was just, it was just
not
it was just poorly blocked.
Back to turn around and run 3 yards the wrong way.
Right.
All right, so let's look at the stats because Roundtree hadn't done much. He's got 8 carries for 26 yards. That's actually more than I thought he had. Yeah, Tyler Beatty has 1 carry for 2 and 1 catch for, I don't know, not much. Hang on. 1 catch for
I've been pretty impressed with Florida defense.
Yeah, but Beatty 2 touches for 7 yards. And
really, also obviously defense, hasn't helped itself with some drops.
Trask is only 3 for his last 8. Florida's only run 9 times for 28 yards. So the Missouri defense has played well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Missouri on pace for well under 300 total yards right now.
Mm-hmm.
But this isn't a bad sign to me for Missouri because the sign of a good team is you wrote about it last week and Ryan Walters used the term complementary football. Look, when the defense isn't playing well, the offense has done enough to keep them in games. When the offense isn't playing well, the defense is currently doing enough to keep it in a game.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, I think, but certainly, like, you pointed out, we all thought this was going to be a higher scoring game. So I guess that's what I'm saying. I've been impressed with both defenses so far.
Yeah. Stryker.
Obviously, Missouri didn't start great. But.
By calling timeout, Dan Mullen could give Missouri a chance to get the ball back here.
Oh, yeah. With plenty of time, too.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, 4 minutes. Yeah. That was kind of a strange timeout.
Well, their first down on the first play, obviously, is.
Yeah.
Got a little tougher, but.
Yeah, Reagan. I think he's right. It doesn't really feel like Missouri's leading this game, but that's the impact that a defensive touchdown can have.
Defensive touchdown. Absolutely.
In a strike straw, like it's hard not to be pretty excited about the kid's potential long term.
For sure. I mean, yeah, just starting as a true freshman is, one thing. He's looked pretty good out there. He hasn't looked intimidating. He's made 2 nice plays now tonight. Looks like Pitts is one-on-one with Bledsoe on second down here. Oh no, he gets help from Nicholson.
Nicholson is
and that was definitely where
cover Kyle Pitts guy apparently.
Well, no, he came out and helped. He came out and helped Bledsoe, and that's where Trask wanted to throw, and that's why he ends up running here. I don't know if you've seen it.
Oh yeah, now I just saw it. So you're again, we just go back and forth, but and then Bledsoe came off Pitts and made the tackle
during the commercial break.
Now bad tackling coming up, so I'm assuming Missouri's about to give up a first down.
And yeah, player wide open, and then not great tackling. And it ended up taking about 8 Missouri players to tackle him. I think Adam Sparks is hurt.
Oh, that's a big gain too. I mean, even with good tackling, they.
Yeah, exactly. I think coverage.
But yeah, so now at this point, Florida should lead at halftime. I mean,
yeah.
So
Florida is wearing an impressive number of sweatbands.
And Florida gets the ball to start the third quarter as well.
Yes, they do.
Yeah. So. I mean, Trask he's been a little streaky, but he's clearly a pretty good quarterback. I've been impressed.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he was really good against Missouri last year. And we'll see. I mean, I haven't watched a ton of Florida this year, but his numbers have been great. So.
So now we find out if Missouri can manage to. This is where they've gotten, or close to where they've gotten good on the first couple drives inside the 25.
Mm-hmm.
You got to wonder if, because it seems to me Missouri has mostly been dropping into coverage lately. You got to wonder if this is where they, well, I don't know.
Yeah, well, they just brought pressure there on second down, but Florida had a good call for it, and then more missed tackles.
Yeah.
Oh, my. Many missed tackles. Touchdown, Florida.
Yeah. So.
Oof.
Well, at least Missouri gets the ball back.
Yeah, that's true with plenty of time.
2, 3, at least 3 missed tackles. And one of them was Bolton.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was not their best play, I would say. So Kadarius Toney, 18 yards.
Yeah, that's. Two plays on that drive, not great tackling. The third down completion was that was a good route and a good throw and a big gain, and then there's just they brought blitz like you said. Florida had a good call for it, and then just poor tackling.
But yeah, Missouri's. I mean, the defense has been okay, but the tackling has not been very good tonight.
No, it is not.
Really, from the beginning. So. They'll get the ball back with, a minute 41 left. I'm assuming there's going to be a touchback or a fair catch. Minute 41 on the 25-yard line. And 2 timeouts. That's plenty of time. But
Tons of time, yeah.
But I haven't seen much out of this Missouri offense.
I mean, they have
Right. You don't. Yeah. You wonder if you got to kind of balance, trying to score without trying to do anything crazy risky, because obviously, you don't want to turn the ball over.
You can't either go 3 and out or give the ball over on a turnover. You're right.
Yeah. Let me kick off.
It still is weird to me looking at number 71. It's going to be weird all game. So outside Jalen Knox, really, Missouri hasn't found much of anything that's worked.
No, and Knox, obviously had that killer drop as well, so he's not been without blame. Yeah, the offense is not. I mean, yeah, they just hasn't gotten a lot going. There's been a few open receivers, but not
a lot
nothing
of room
consistent.
To run, some drops. Bazelak has been up and down, which is not surprising. I think the first 2 games, led people so much to believe that it was just going to be up and up and up without a bump in the road. There's going to be some bumps in the road, and
yeah, absolutely, he's a true freshman. Oh, Hazelton with another drop there.
Okay, so
he
just caught a ball for me.
It's wild how these come in bunches,
And he, at this point, why does Boo Smith and Towski Dove not? Well, I think Mizzou's about to turn it over or something.
Yeah, it seems possible.
People seem unhappy, and
fumbled exchange. Man, yeah. I mean,
yeah, that's brutal.
I gotta. It's easy to second guess when something like that happens, right? But I don't know. On 3rd and 1, I like just a less complex play than a read option right there. I mean, I don't on a short yardage running play. I don't like a play that starts with no momentum moving toward the line of scrimmage.
I think almost every running play anymore is a read option.
Yeah.
I mean that's on the quarterback, right?
I think so. Yeah.
You got to think Florida's taking a deep shot on 1st down, and if they go up 2 scores, I'm not going to say it's over, but it never should have been, and I think they're about to go up 2 scores from the reactions here. But there's no way Florida should have been ahead 20-7. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and Kadarius Toney is wide open. Touchdown. That was not a good last minute or so for Missouri.
Yeah. And now when you get the ball back, look, you just got to down it and go to halftime, right? Or not down it, but you got to run it. You just
Florida gets the ball again.
Yeah, but I mean the way you're playing, because right now it's a 2-score game. Theoretically, you get a stop out of the locker room, you're going, we got a shot. But if you give up, if you do something wrong, you give up more points here, then you're dead. I mean, the game's over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, well, that just that was just a bad sequence, obviously, and we saw Missouri benefit from the turnover and gave it right back. Clearly, the bottom line is now this offense. I mean, Missouri's offense has to get something going in the second half.
And so, look, I'm not saying it changes everything, right? You never know, butterfly effect and all that. But Damon Hazelton has dropped 2 more passes. What did Towski Dove and Boo Smith do to not play tonight?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, yeah, Dove especially. I thought Dove has looked pretty good when he's been out there this season.
He's looked to me like Missouri's 2nd best receiver this season.
Mm-hmm.
And have we seen Barrett Bannister? Have we seen Barrett Bannister at all?
I'm not sure we have, actually. Was he? I think he might have been targeted on one of the 3rd down incompletions on like Missouri's 1st or 2nd drive. But man, I'd hardly remember seeing him. Now, him and Knox do play the same position for the most part, which, Knox has been your best receiver. But I don't know. Hazleton at this point for me needs to be on the bench.
Yeah. So. All right. So, I mean, obviously, you got to theoretically, there's time. I haven't seen anything out of this offense that tells me I would take a shot. I didn't hand the ball off. It cut you off.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's tough to give Florida basically, 3 straight possessions. But yeah, I don't know that I'd be willing to take a shot.
Also, because aside from any other problems, the quarterback hasn't shown me he's got this defense figured out enough to move the ball. I mean, I haven't seen it tonight. But also, hey, first of all, we're halfway done. Second of all, this is why you don't start talking about 7-3 after 2 wins. I mean,
true.
We knew there were going to be some bumps.
Yeah.
Last 2 weeks.
I mean, and we knew they were going to have to score some points. Yeah. I think. I mean, Billy, you just need this offense to wake up. Now they're not just handing the ball off.
Easy to forget that the only 7 points have come from the defense. So.
Exactly. So Mizzou is throwing. That just kind of was a lob duck for Kiki Chisholm. Kind of lucky.
Realistically, that ball should have been picked off. And if that
ball's
picked
I don't
off,
know
this game is over. I don't like this. I run the ball.
I don't know. I don't hate the idea of throwing, but that's just an extremely risky pass. But basically needs to put that out of bounds.
At no point was he open. That should have been offensive PI on Chisholm.
Yeah, and that ball should have been thrown away. Hazleton's about to drop. Might have just got one on the sidelines. I kind of thought he bobbled it, but they're giving him the catch. He's still in the game.
He doesn't have that ball. Are they reviewing it? Because he didn't catch that. I didn't think.
Yeah, they're going to review it.
Okay, yeah. I mean, look, it's the problems go beyond one player, right? But
yeah,
this is. I think you got to sit him in the second half. You got to give somebody else a shot.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you have guys who have proven that they can get it done. I mean, it's like Dove and Smith have played well when they've been on the field this season.
And that's not exactly a drop, but he clearly doesn't have possession, and he had the ball in his hands.
Yeah.
And it was you got to give the defensive back some credit. He got there, he made a play, but Hazleton should have caught that ball.
Yeah, I agree. Patrick, I'm a little bit mystified about the the number of snaps for Hazleton. I'm like you, a little bit surprised at just the the aggressiveness of this series.
Well,
especially, I mean, like I said, I don't hate not just handing it off, but a couple relatively risky throws, especially that first one.
Well, and the problem now is 3rd and 10. If you run it, Florida has a timeout.
Yeah.
I mean, you've put yourself in a position where you've taken a total of 11 seconds off the clock.
Yeah.
And Trask will take a shot if they get it back.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think the Florida staff trusts Trask to let him take a shot and not do anything too crazy with it.
Yeah. Patrick wants to know, is it inappropriate to ask Drinkwitz in the postgame how Hazleton gets so many snaps when he drops the ball so much? In those terms, yes, it's inappropriate. I mean, there's a way to ask the question, and whether it's tonight or Tuesday, we will ask about it. But in those terms,
I mean, I think first of all, we need to see if that continues into the second half.
Yeah.
So I don't have volume, but it appears as though the play was called incomplete. call reversed.
I mean, that was a pretty easy call.
It was.
I thought live it was incomplete.
So did I. But man, yeah, a lot of miscues and missed opportunities for the Missouri offense.
I'll be interested to see what the PFF numbers say on drop passes because there's been a minimum of 3 in this half.
Yes. 3 obvious ones and then a couple more that you would like to be caught.
All right, so the problem here now is Missouri now runs the ball, gets a yard, Florida calls timeout. I mean,
yeah.
Or it doesn't run,
Florida's
but, might as well.
Right.
That plays a run.
Mm-hmm.
He's done a great job in the first 4 weeks. A lot of things that have made me scratch my head about the approach here in the first half. Now, also, when your offense has basically sustained nothing all day, I'm not going to blame play calling for you being down 20-7.
No. I mean, yeah, you know what? I think this comes back to, coming into the season, we knew Missouri's offense might have some struggles.
Yeah.
And now, everyone got excited about the win over LSU. LSU's defense was dreadful in that game.
Florida's
and
has
the
been
way
too,
they
though.
won last week, that's true. The way they won last week was not really sustainable. And now also you've got 2 backup offensive linemen in the game. Connor Baselak is looking like a freshman at times. Like, I'm not going to say it like I'm shocked at that the offense could have a bad game. It just have to a bad half. But they need to get something going, obviously, in the second half.
I mean, I think Florida's got a decent chance at points here, depending on what happens on this punt.
Tony is loose a little bit on that return. He gets out to the 45, 35 seconds left. I mean, I would say they need 20 yards to get into field goal range, but I don't know about this backup kicker. That's a flag on the play as well. Let's see if that helps out.
But also they have no timeouts, but the clock stops on first downs. So
right. This penalty will be important.
Kadarius Toney has really kind of killed them here in the last 5 minutes. So the flag's against Florida. But still, for the same reasons, if I'm Missouri, I don't take a shot. If I'm Florida, I do take a shot here. I trust my quarterback to take a shot and not take a sack or turn the ball over.
Yeah, you trust a senior too with
right.
So the flag is on Florida. That's big. So now they're at their own 30. That obviously means they have a lot further to go to get into field goal range.
15 yards to be exact.
Yes, correct.
But still, I mean, you're probably 35 yards from a shot. Patrick says it's frustrating after the LSU game. One of the common comments as the key to the win was the sustained drives due to backup players catching the ball. And it's fair to wonder where Smith and Dove and even Bannister and, I don't know, maybe even Jacinto are right now. I think that's fair if we don't see them in the second half.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, does it fix all the problems? No, but you reverse a few of these drops, and certainly Missouri has more points on the board.
Game.
Yeah.
Jarvis Ware loves talking, though.
He does.
I mean, it is 20-7, but it's not going to stop him.
Couple of relatively errant throws here from Trask on this drive.
Yeah, that was high. Okay, now see, now if I'm Florida, I'm probably just running the ball, making Missouri call a timeout. Took a shot.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I mean, Florida's made some plays on offense, but they haven't been great.
Right. They've had a few big plays in the passing game. Each of those first 2 drives, and then the long touchdown to Toney, and then some missed tackles by Mizzou. Looks like we're just going to let this one go into half.
Yeah, and I think that's the right call on
never
both
mind.
sides.
Looks like Missouri did call a timeout.
I mean, I guess make them punt. You could always block it. They could.
Oh,
drop
I'm
a
annoyed
snap.
because I want this to be quicker.
Right. But yeah, it is. I mean, it's been almost a 2-hour first half
Yeah.
in a game that had one touchdown until 10 minutes ago. You know, and Reagan's right. It's just it hasn't been very well played by either team.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Yeah. I mean, you got to say, obviously, Florida's been the better team so far. Each team's
no question.
gotten basically one score off a turnover, but Florida's done much more outside of that one play.
Florida's made some plays. If we're honest, Missouri's made one. They made
Also,
one play all night.
Oh, no, wait, never mind. I was going to say it's the punt return team on the field or punt block team, because I was like, why are J.J. Hester and Mason Pack on the field at the same time?
I would tell that. Yeah, I was going to say I would tell that guy to get as far away from that kick as you possibly can. But the problem is now you're at the one with 2 seconds left. You've got to at least fall forward.
That's true. You can't just knee.
You can't back up and take a knee. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I might snap the ball to Basilak and tell him roll straight right and throw the ball straight out of bounds. Get out of the tackle box and just throw it away.
Although you do run the risk then of a hold in the end zone.
Yeah. If Missouri
I would just sneak it.
If they manage to pick up a safety here, that's one of the biggest,
one
of the worst things of all time. All right, so it takes. Oh, wait! Florida gets the ball back.
Oh, did Missouri jump off sides?
I mean, basically, if Missouri could find a way to screw up in the last 6 minutes, they did.
Man, that draw play had that handoff had a chance there for a second there too.
Yeah. I mean, I know you're in a prevent defense, but still, the way Missouri's been tackling.
I tweeted halftime, and there's another flag on this play. So Florida, if this is on Missouri, Florida might get an untimed down here from Missouri.
And look, this is poor coaching in the last 5 minutes. It just is. It's poor execution too, but it's poor coaching too.
Oh man, I mean,
but if it's an offsides penalty, do you get to take the play? Because I don't think you do. Because if you take the play and
no, you're right. No, you wouldn't get to take the play. Yeah, if you decline the penalty, the half runs out.
Right.
So they'll get the play from the 50. But yeah, I mean, offsides penalties on back-to-back
Missouri
plays.
called a timeout to get to this point? Oh yeah, they
called a timeout to force the
punt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Kyle Trask has a good enough arm to get this to the end zone, right? They're only 50 yards away.
Yeah, he got it there, but incomplete.
Thank God.
Well, final halftime real this time.
Yeah, thank God the half ended. I wasn't sure it was actually ever going to.
Yeah, not a good
only have one guy in the pattern there. But yeah, I don't know. It's 20-7 at mercifully halftime. I mean, I don't know.
It looks like there's a brawl.
Oh God.
Trey Williams is in the middle of it. I see that.
That is unsurprising news. Yeah, this is poor.
Yeah.
It's a bad look. It just is.
Oh wow.
And there's going to be guys kicked out of this game.
Bad. Yeah, I mean, Mark Alutzi's punching with
Nick
both
Bolton
hands.
is throwing haymakers. I mean, you got to kick 20 guys out of this game.
This is insane.
This is
Awful. This is a horrid look on both coaches.
Yeah.
Look,
Oh,
any
boy.
talk about Missouri, about improving discipline the first 4 weeks, that's a load of crap. Disciplined teams don't do this.
Yeah, there's absolutely going to be ejections from this.
And I'm not sure Missouri should have enough guys to play the second half. So we're going to take a break during halftime, but let's talk about this for a few minutes. I mean, I saw a minimum of 6 guys throwing punches there. That's embarrassing. Like, that is, you look like, I don't know how else to put it. You look like
there's still
idiots.
players that aren't going. There's still players from both teams not going back in the locker room.
You look like idiots on national TV. And you look like idiots on both sides, but you look like bigger idiots when you're losing 20-7.
Yeah. This is a moment where I'd like to have the audio for sure.
Yeah. Well, I can mute you if you want to listen to it and then come back and tell me what's going on. So you're good. So look, Mitch is going to listen. I'm going to watch. We're going to stay here and we're going to talk about this because that is an absolute awful look by Missouri. And people are saying that Trajan Jeffcoat had a late hit on Kyle Trask. So here it comes. That is a cheap shot. That absolutely should have been a flag on Missouri. Florida should have gotten another play. Trajan Jeffcoat should not play the second half of this game, and it should be his coach's decision, and that's what started it, I'm assuming. Drinkwitz and Mullen are going at it. They're talking to the coach. I think everybody on both teams should probably be ejected, frankly. That's 100% on Trajan Jeffcoat. That is a cheap shot up high. No question. Late hit, cheap shot. Both coaches talking to the official. Mitch is listening to it, so I'm sure you guys are listening to it. I'm not. Look, I'm not saying Jeffcoat's not going to be thrown out for the hit because it wasn't even flagged. The officials aren't going to throw him out. Drinkwitz should sit him for the second half. And now Drinkwitz and Mullen this is a bad look, guys. This is a bad look. I don't. And Florida's not blameless here. Florida's part of it. But this is poor. I would also bet it means we don't get to interview anybody in the postgame. I bet we're going to talk to Eli Drinkwitz. That's going to be about it. Unless something wild happens in the second half and Missouri comes back. I like Chris Trevino still getting the halftime interview. All right, so Mitch, what were they saying?
Am I back?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I didn't honestly, the commentators didn't add much there. They basically were like trying to figure out what's going on, same as us. As you saw, Drinkwitz and Mullen had a long chat that looked like they sort of shook hands, but also were not with each other. Yeah, it didn't look super friendly. And then Dan Mullen comes back out of the tunnel and is pumping up the crowd, which is not a great look.
No.
I don't know, man. That was bad.
It clearly started with Trajan Jeffcoat's hit.
Yes,
which was a that's a dirty hit.
Teams are leaving the field, it turns into a big scrum, and I don't know how you sort through who to eject, but I would assume that'll be something that
I think
the league officials will look at on video during halftime. It appears, according to Twitter, Trey Williams has been ejected.
Okay, so Trey Williams out because he was the Missouri guy you saw involved.
He was the first
to begin
one
with.
that looked like he was coming out.
Let's see if we can find guys who are throwing punches. We know Markel Utze was. I thought I saw Bolton, but I could have misidentified a number.
33 does. Chad Bailey does.
Okay, maybe that's who I thought was Bolton.
Utze is absolutely wailing with both hands.
Somebody took a swing at 17. Utze's out. 17's out for Florida.
Man, officially so far, only Trey Williams for Missouri and 2 players for Florida, Powell and Carter. Don't know who those players are.
Okay, so Trey Williams,
Zachary Powell and Antoine Carter. Or sorry, Zachary Carter.
He was really going at it, but I didn't see any punches. He just was screaming.
Yeah.
So Trey Williams, we know, is ejected. Utze may not be ejected, but he shouldn't be allowed to play.
by his coach.
No, I mean, I thought he was throwing more punches than anyone I saw. I mean, that's obviously that's a terrible scene to see as you lead the field, but especially, I don't know, man, yeah. When you're the team that's losing.
Right. And so
great.
David brings up a point. He wasn't alone, but Mullen was acting like an ass. Look, I'll give you that point. I'm going to bet Eli Drinkwitz wasn't going full-on peacemaker there. It sure didn't look like it.
No. And yeah. But Mullen looks worse because he comes out and pumps up the crowd at the end there, which is a little bit ridiculous. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen two head coaches have like a heated mid-game thing like that.
Yeah. So Trey Overstreet says a Mizzou player got pulled into the Florida pile early on, and that escalated things, it seemed. And that may be true. Look, I don't know. What started this is Trajan Jeffcoat taking 2.5 steps and hitting Kyle Trask around throat level.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what started it. Make no mistake, that's what started it. And then Trey Williams yapping with Florida going off the field. So you want to start with blame. You start number 1, Trajan Jeffcoat, number 2, Trey Williams.
Yeah, I would agree. And then
and then you go from there. And there's
plenty to go. Throws a lot of punches. Chad Bailey throws a punch.
A couple of guys from Florida were throwing punches. Like the league. So Missouri is off next week, right?
Yeah.
Markel Utzi ain't going to play Georgia. There's no chance. He is.
I mean, yeah, it seems very possible.
Let's remember, he is their lone scholarship defensive tackle, and he ain't going to play against Georgia.
Not great. They better hope Kobe Whiteside's back.
Okay, Dave Matter says on Florida, 52 and 17 were ejected. All other teams get 1 unsportsmanlike conduct. All other players get 1. So basically, they said, we can't figure out what happened. So every player on both teams gets an unsportsmanlike conduct.
Right, and if you get 2 of those, then you're ejected.
Yeah, 100% suspensions coming. No, multiple suspensions on both teams.
Yeah, I mean, I would not be surprised if there are more ejections announced before halftime ends, but I definitely, if not, yes, there are going to be players.
I wouldn't hate suspending both head coaches if you want the truth. They won't, but.
No, they won't. I mean, that was not a good scene. I
mean, Schiff brings up a good point, too. Both these teams could have some COVID problems. Like, you get enough guys suspended, you're not playing.
Yeah.
You know? Look, that's – and I don't want to remove blame from Florida here. Florida gets blamed, too, no question. It's a two-way street. But that's just – what's Trey Williams even doing over there? Why is he talking to Florida?
Yeah, I don't know. I wish I could see a better – how – I assume he was on the field for that play. But I can't believe Utzi wasn't ejected.
Was more exciting than anything happened in the first 30 minutes.
Oh, by far.
Are there next game penalties for being ejected? Well, here's what I don't know. It didn't happen. Did it happen in the first half or the second half?
The clock was out, but
at halftime.
Yeah, they do say that. Yeah, if it happens in the second half, it rolls over. At least for targeting, I know that for a game suspension. But I don't think like the players who are ejected today. If you're ejected for. Yeah, I would guess that like the players who are ejected from this game, unless they're given additional suspensions, would not be out next week.
Okay.
But there will be some additional suspensions.
So let's talk about this. Stryker says Barry Odom players, what do you expect? Half joking. Like, look, 2 things can be true. You can't remove all the things that happened and this team talked a lot of trash totally unnecessarily the last couple of years, right? So you don't get rid of all that in a month, but also this is his team now. Like, he got credit for the 2 wins. He gets credit for that. You don't get to just get credit for the good stuff and not get blamed for the bad stuff.
Right. I mean, if you want to praise the coach for having a more disciplined team, that half didn't show it. They got penalized on both of the last 2 plays of the first half and then had an all-out brawl.
That was the those last 6 minutes were as bad as I've seen out of a team in a long time in almost every way. Trey Overstreet says you guys got to get that strength staff guy an interview next week. But here's the thing, Mitch, and I don't know if you heard me when I put you on mute. We're not talking to players after this game. There's no
Probably
way.
not.
We're going to get Drinkwitz. That's going to be it. I would be shocked if we get – or we might get Nick Bolton and Larry Roundtree, who are strictly told you don't answer questions about the fighting.
I
I
mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I would think they might give us a couple players, but if they're asked about the fight, they're just going to say we're not commenting on that. Which, I mean, that's all. I mean,
right.
Look, I'm going to ask about it.
Right,
like,
which 100% feel free not to comment. But.
Yeah.
But see, T-Rise saying you can't change who somebody is. Again, you don't get to take credit for all the good things and then absolve Drinkwitz of blame for that. You just don't get to do it. That's not how that works. I won't listen to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna watch a video here of what happened again.
Eric Stegall says it looks like Mullen went after Ryan Walters.
Yeah, so I'm watching a video now. First of all, the shot from Trajan Jeffco was I'm surprised that should be ejectionable.
2 full steps. It should have been a penalty.
I'm watching now. I mean, Akil Byers gets his helmet ripped off.
Yeah.
Man, yeah. This one of the coaches is getting just rocked between Markel Utzi and 51 for Florida. Like, he looks like he gets hit in the head like 3 times.
Yeah, I mean, 17 and Trey Williams looked like they were in the middle of it to start.
Yeah.
And then just everybody was in on it.
Man, yeah. I mean, crazy scene. Like you said, I mean, that's now the story of the game kind of right now.
100%. I truly, I don't know how Markel Utzi's allowed to play the second half. That makes no sense.
I got to give a shout out to Peter Ball real quick for his tweet here. It was asking if any Missouri player will get the boxing robe after the fight.
That's pretty good.
I mean, I don't know. I don't want to condone the fight, but that's pretty funny.
All right. So, yeah, I don't know, Mitch, if you want to take a break for a couple minutes, I'll update stats. Then when you come back, I'm going to take a break. We'll catch up in the third quarter. I don't know, man.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. What a mess.
I'll shut off my stream here.
You're good. Just leave it up.
Okay.
Yeah. Just walk away. It'll be half a screen for a little while. So, yeah, guys, look, I want to be clear. I'm not blaming this 100% on Eli Drinkwitz. There's 100 guys out there who share in that. But that's a bad look for a football team. I mean, it's a bad look for 2 football teams. That's poor. It's just it's poor. I don't know how else to put it. It's even worse when you're behind 20-7 and when you melted down in the final 6 minutes of the half, because Missouri had a 7-6 lead with 5-6 minutes to go, and they just completely melted down. So I don't know, guys. We'll see what happens in the second half. It'll be kind of interesting, to see who's on the field, because look, maybe only one player is ejected. Trey Williams may be the only player ejected. If I'm the coach, I'm making some statements here. Markel Utzi's not playing. He's just not playing. There's no way I'd play him in that half, in the second half. If it costs you the game, it costs you the game. But this is the kind of moment where you get control of a program, where you say, look, if that's what you're going to do, you're not playing for me. I'd sit him. And if it means you're playing Ben Key, if it means you're playing walk-ons, that's what it means. I mean, look, Missouri's already down 20-7. They're truthfully probably not winning a game anyway. but there are times where you've got to do things that go beyond winning or losing a football game and winning over a program and winning over a fan base. If Drinkwitz comes out and makes a little statement here, then I'm impressed. I'll see. I'll be interested to see what he does, because I'm not sure Trajan Jeffcoat should play, and I'm pretty sure Markel Lutzy shouldn't. Because if you're in that huddle, I don't see how you miss Markel Lutzy throwing haymakers at pretty much everybody who was within range of him. I mean, that was a bad. Out of all the guys involved in that, he probably looked the worst, if you want the truth. So I'm catching up here on stats, and sorry, obviously it took most of halftime trying to figure out what the hell was going on. I don't know how long halftime's going to last, but we'll talk plenty about it in the second half, because frankly, we don't have much of a football game to talk about because Missouri fell apart in the last half, in the last 5 minutes. I mean, that was a 7-6 Missouri lead like 6 minutes ago, and they gave up a touchdown and then, did nothing, or turned the ball over, gave up another touchdown, tried to give up more points before the end of the first half. So let's focus on before we even get to halftime. Poor play, poor coaching. Then you get to halftime and just complete mess on your hands. And again, absolutely Florida shares in this, right? But we don't cover Florida. We cover Missouri, and so that's what we're going to talk about. And so, I don't know, man. Kind of a mess. Obviously completely changes what we're talking and writing about. And David says, do you dare be the reporter that asked Drinkwitz about this? Can't wait to hear the exchange. 100%. Absolutely. That, like, any reporter that's not asking. Now, look, let's see what happens in the second half. Missouri comes out and scores 6 touchdowns and wins the game. Then we've got a little bit of a different story. But the story then really is, did the fight motivate your team? But 100% we will ask him. I'll ask him about this. He wants to yell at me, he can yell at me. But, yeah, absolutely I'm going to ask about this. That's part of being here, for being on the beat for 17 years is probably, and not being 22 years old, is the responsibility to ask about that. I agree. Don't think this will go for Mullen on further review. Probably agree with that. Don't absolve Drink, but when your fifth-year seniors are getting in brawls, it makes me think the problem is deeper than the new coach. And I agree on that, Stryker. I said, look, you can't just change who guys are immediately. You can't fix everything in a month. So it is not all Drinkwitz, but he is the head coach, and he absolutely shares it. That's his team. Like it or not, that's his team out there that just did that, and it was a very poor look. So IMK says there's no way Jarvis Ware wasn't somehow involved. I know it's kind of a joke, but I get it. All right. Okay, so Mitch is back. If I can, I don't really know how to. Okay, Mitch, there you are.
I'm right back.
Yeah.
I'm just realizing I didn't type halftime thoughts, so I'm going to do that
Okay.
real quick.
Yeah, do that. We're still at halftime, so while you do that, I will. I'm gonna just keep going through comments. 17 Florida, yes, bad. No question. He is equal to Markel Lutzy, probably. Understand Mizzou is at fault here. Can't get over the kid pulled into their side and then stomped on. And look, obviously we haven't seen every play. Yes, Florida, nobody there looks good. I want to be clear about that. Nobody there looks good. They all look terrible. So there's no, hey, you look a little better than that guy. Like, that was trashy. I mean, it just was, Yeah, not saying you shouldn't ask, just saying Drink is already chippy with you guys, and his response might be interesting. Look, it might be, and if it is, fine. I'd say whatever, but he's 100% getting questions about that. 100%, you know. No doubt. T-Rice says we're going to need some serious video breakdown. We might treat this thing like the damn Zapruder film, honestly, because it's far more interesting than what we've seen in the game. Williams and Jeffcoat were showboating and started the confrontation. And at first impression, that is definitely what it looked like. I don't know for sure, but yeah, first impression, that seems to be the case. I'm going to look at other SEC scores. Mississippi State, Alabama's a blowout. A&M kind of just keeping Arkansas at arm's length. So, look, guys, I feel like we haven't had time to catch our breath at all. It's 20-7. Theoretically, this is still a game. It doesn't really feel like it. It feels like Missouri got completely outclassed, but they didn't. They're still in this game. You know, so we're going to find out a little bit again about the coach. How do you kind of get this thing under control, get your team focused, and can you get them to play well in the second half? You know, and I agree, Dan Mullen, look, coming out and pumping up the crowd out of the tunnel, that's a bad look. Everybody looked bad. That's a bad look for everybody involved, especially because it was two teams that didn't even play well. You know, I mean, at least if you'd had some reason to look like you were to be talking and stuff, that's one thing, but they really didn't. Any idea who's ejected yet? Hey, on Twitter, it said 17 and 52 from Florida are ejected. Trey Williams from Missouri is ejected. That's all we know, you know, at this point. I think they're going to have to go over. Like, I don't think anybody else is going to be ejected for the second half unless they look at this thing at halftime and the SEC office calls and says, hey, get this guy out of the game. I don't think that's going to happen that quickly. But you never know, I guess. I would think mostly this is going to be reviewed on Monday, and then we'll kind of go from there. Missouri has a bye next week, but there's going to be dudes missing the Georgia game. There's no question. I don't know what Florida's schedule is. I'm sure they play next week because they've already used up their byes, but they're going to have some guys missing that game, certainly. If Drink wants to get control back, he needs to play the guys that will catch and hold on to the ball. Yeah, that too. But again, I think it's telling if Markel Utze plays in this half. I think it's a little telling if Trajan Jeffcoat plays in this half, but I think it's more telling if Markel Utze does. At least Jeffcoat was in the game, you know. Utze was just, you just can't do that. So, yeah, Mullen yelling at Walters. Last time Mizzou had a brawl, somebody brought up the Georgia basketball game I want to say that was 2 or 3 years ago. In football, I don't really know. Seems like it's been a while. Yeah, UGA is happy right now. I'm going to be honest, Case. I don't think Georgia saw anything in that first half that really scared them, even if everybody from Missouri was playing. I don't know, man. It looks like we're about to start the third quarter again. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. Mullen started it. I don't know if I'd go that far. Again, I haven't seen the video. The late hit started it, and it was a late hit. It just was. I mean, that's a late hit, and it's high. Yeah, and so now Mullen was out there, but what's Trey Williams doing? Chasing after, right. Yeah, it's not going to look good for Mullen. I would not be shocked if Mullen doesn't coach Florida's next game, if you want the truth. It's a bad look for everybody. And certainly Mullen, definitely, it's a bad look for him too. And coming up, and that's the part that looks really bad. Coming up and pumping up the crowd, that's poor. That's like junior high school stuff right there. So I'll be interested to see what Drinkwitz says after the game, because we'll just say, hey, it looked like Dan Mullen was yelling at your players. What happened? And I'll be interested to see what he says. Yeah, and I don't know if it's fair to say Mullen started it, but Mullen definitely had a part of of it being what it was. There's no question about that. I think Dan Mullen's going to get fined. I don't know if he'll get suspended, but I think he's going to get fined. But let's talk about football real quick. I know it's not as exciting, and we will get back to talking about fighting, especially if this game gets ugly. But football, like Missouri needs to stop here. This is still a football game. Missouri's got a chance here. So, let's see what happens. But they need to stop here. All right, Mitch, what's up, man?
Hey, I'm back. Just posted some halftime thoughts if you want to check those out on the message board. And now, we're back to watching football. It looks like Markel Utze, and I think I saw Trajan Jeffcoat in the game. I couldn't tell, but definitely saw Utze.
I'm not sure about Utze being on the field here.
About 9 punches.
Yeah, I'm not sure about Utze being on the field here. Now, to be fair, also, a lot of people pointed out, Dan Mullen's going to get in trouble.
Yes.
But he's going to get fined minimum. He maybe is going to get suspended.
Yeah, I mean, yes. If if Lane Kiffin gets fined for accurately pointing out a bad call, Mullen is getting fined at a very minimum. It's an ugly scene for everyone involved. But like I said, he comes out of it probably looking the worst of the two coaches because he came back on the field and did that. I mean,
that's kind of a personal move there. Okay, so now football wise though, like Missouri kind of needs to stop here. You get a stop here, you got a shot. You go give up points, this game's probably over.
Yeah, if this is a touchdown, I think it's about over. 3rd and 1 is a big play. Quarterback keeper, he's got a lot of room. Yikes.
Yeah, Bolton ran himself out of that play, and then Missouri missed 2 more tackles.
Yeah, let's see. I'm going to see see the replay. Yeah, Bolton goes too far upfield, and then there's no one there to fill his gap.
Yeah. Because Jeffco got pushed inside. Gillespie got blocked.
Yeah, I mean, it's just Missouri needs something to change the momentum a little bit is what it comes down to.
Well, it'd be kind of interesting to be on Dan Mullen's post-game Zoom call, too.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we can request Trey Williams and Markel Utze.
I will probably. I don't think we'll talk to him.
No.
But yeah, I'll probably just at least ask.
Okay, so after this Florida drive, I'm going to take a break for a couple minutes and let you run the show.
Patrick does bring up the point that maybe we see Jatorian Hansford now. I mean, certainly, if he doesn't play now with Trey Williams ejected, I would assume it means he's not healthy enough to play.
Yeah. But again, if he's not healthy enough to play, why is he there?
Yeah, that's a good question. They don't have a ton of scholarship players, so I guess, at a certain point you just have some spots to fill.
Eric wants to know if we can get on the Florida call. I don't have access to it. I don't really know how we'd get it. And we've got to – it's going to be going on at the same time as the Missouri call, so we just can't.
Yeah, unfortunately not. I'm sure the audio of that will make its way around the social media and whatnot.
Right, yeah. And our Florida site will probably have it, and so we'll repost.
That's a big stop on 3rd and 3. I don't know if you saw that, but good coverage and then good tackle by Nick Bolton.
4th and 1.5 yards. If I'm Florida, I'm going for it. Right?
Where are they?
Especially with the backup kicker from the 31.
31.
I'm 100% going for it.
Yeah, it looks like they are going for it. Yep, big play. We'll see if they actually snap it.
So how many seconds are on your play clock now?
9.
Okay,
8.
You're 5 seconds ahead of me is all. So.
Cool. Oh, man.
That's
a big hole.
on what you had to know was going to happen, right?
Right. I mean, 4th and 1, you got to think they're coming up the middle. That Akil Gyers gets kind of dominated there, and Tyree Gillespie gets blocked. That's I mean, you got to think 4th and 1, they're running it up the gut.
Now you're kind of at the point you almost have to have a turnover because your offense hadn't done anything.
It does not happen. Touchdown, Florida.
Yeah.
Kadarius Toney seems hard to tackle.
He's having himself a night.
Yeah.
Was that 15-yard run? Something like that?
Something like that.
We'll go with 16. Seems about right. So that's his third touchdown in like 6 minutes of game action.
Yeah.
27-7, and it's kind of hard to see Missouri coming back from this. So, look, as good as the last 2 weeks seemed, this has been about as bad as it can be. Your offense has done nothing. Your defense has made one play. You got into a trashy fight. Not great, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's since about, I don't know, midway through the second quarter, this has gone about as badly as possible for Missouri.
So Jacob says on the halftime interview, Drinkwitz told Chris Trevino, I have no idea what happened. Their coaches came running across the field, and it turned into an ugly scene, disappointing for us. And so, look, I will give Drinkwitz the benefit of the doubt that he doesn't see Trajan Jeffcoat's hit live, because I didn't see it live.
Yeah, clearly that's what starts it.
Right, but I can understand why at the time he wouldn't know that or have seen that. But all right, well, I'll be back in a couple minutes if you can entertain everyone.
I'm good. So basically to recap, sorry, I was tweeting. Missouri gets the pick six, and then I think got a stop after that. I'm going to look at the drive chart here. Missouri gets the pick six, and then forces 2 punts actually after that. But since about the 4-minute mark of the second quarter, this has just really gone downhill. Really, only about 9 minutes of game time, but it's gone south in a hurry for Missouri. Florida scores, Missouri fumbles, Florida scores again. Missouri can't do anything before halftime, and then the brawl, and then gives up a Florida touchdown here. 20 points. It's not an insurmountable deficit, but the way this offense has been playing, it doesn't look good. Obviously, we've kind of reached the point now where points are non-negotiable on this possession. You need to score something. So, and really more than anything, I think Missouri just needs some momentum. Nothing really good has happened for them. Like I said, in about 10 minutes of game time. I'm going to check some of these comments here. Getting a reality check. By the way, I can't put them on the screen. Only Gabe's platform can do that. But just follow along with me on the in the YouTube comment section. Patrick says, getting a reality check for Mizzou fans. Yeah, a little bit. I think this is why I said, leading up to this week, let's slow down on talk about like winning the SEC East and things like that, because this is still a young team and offense that we knew was flawed, and they're playing a 10-game SEC schedule, so there's going to be some hiccups. I think as good as the last 2 weeks were, this doesn't totally shock me. Although it's been bad for sure. I mean, it's not ideal. I picked Missouri to keep this game close, and obviously right now it doesn't look like that's happening. Let's see. The D is going to give up points. You knew it, but for Mizzou not to be able to move the ball is sad. Connor Bay's like bouncing balls off the turf. I mean, yeah, I would agree. I came into this game kind of knowing that Florida was going to be able to move the ball, and you think that Missouri needs to obviously be able to answer. It's not going to win and get this game 20-10. And Florida's defense had been bad. Now, I will say, being down 2 starting offensive linemen that hurts. But that doesn't excuse it all. Connor Bay's definitely looking more like a freshman this game. Drops can really change that changes the complexion of things. You have that Knox catch probably a 35-yard gain and you're in field goal range. The first down conversion for Damon Hazleton right before Tyler Beatty fumbles. I don't know. Those plays can change a game. Patrick says Gabe normally gives out free annual subscriptions to Power Mizzou right about now. You should keep that rolling. First of all, I don't have that kind of power. I'm not the boss here. I'm not the one giving out the the subscriptions, but I don't think he's giving out free annual subscriptions. Maybe I'll give you a free month. Maybe we'll do something like that later on, or in the call-in show or something like that. But you'll have to take that up with him. Twitter is really giving it to Mullen. Yeah, I mean, Dan Mullen's had a few tough public displays here in the last few weeks, between calling for 90,000 people in the swamp and then having a COVID outbreak on his team, to now pumping up the crowd after the fight. Not great. How was Kadarius Toney only a 3-star recruit? He actually was a quarterback as a recruit. And I think that has a lot more to do with it. I don't know if he was listed as a quarterback. He might have just been like an athlete. But I do know that he played quarterback in high school. He's a good player, though. The team got bailed out. Sir Mufflebun says the team got bailed out last week versus Kentucky since they have a terrible offense. And that's kind of true. I don't know that they got bailed out. I mean, Missouri dominated that game. But that's, you're not going to play many teams that are that incompetent at passing the football. But also, I don't put this on as much on Missouri's defense, as I just said earlier, as I do on Missouri's offense. Like we said, we knew, oh man, 3rd and 1 there, a draw to Larry Roundtree goes nowhere. The offensive line is just kind of getting manhandled right now. That's been a major issue in this game. And does Xavier Delgado and Larry Bourne make that big of a difference? Maybe. I don't know. But, we thought coming into the season that this offensive line, oh, yeah, that's Dylan Spencer. So that's Xavier Delgado's position. True freshman Dylan Spencer just kind of got whipped on that one. Like, we knew offensive line was going to be an issue, or we thought so, and it had been performed better than expectations. But getting a little bit of a reality check there tonight for sure. I mean, that was, it's a tough position for Dylan Spencer being a true freshman playing in this game, but he just got pretty much abused right there. Let's see. But yeah, back to my point earlier, I don't put this on the defense that much. I mean, they've given up 27 points. You knew Florida was going to score, and 7 of those points came directly off of a turnover. So I really think, the tackling has been bad. But I think you're more concerned right now about Missouri's offense, which has just done nothing. It looks like Gabe might be back.
There, now I'm not on mute. Okay. Now I have a question for you. So how was I gone for that long, and Missouri still had the ball, and they weren't even to the 20-yard line?
Yeah, they just ran 3 plays.
Like, what happened?
Long commercial breaks.
Yeah.
The 3rd down play was ugly. It was a 3rd and 1 draw to Roundtree, and he got met 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Yeah.
All right. So, I mean, total yardage right now is 385 to 122. I mean, this is just kind of this is now turned into an all around whooping. I mean, I don't know who won the fight, but Florida's winning the game by a bunch, by technical knockout. But
yeah,
I don't know.
It's looking like a beatdown. Like, Missouri's offense has just it's not showing a lot of hope.
But kind of a little bit of a reality check, right? Like,
I think so. I mean, that's what I
forgot that after the last 2 weeks, we kind of forgot that, hey, this team is you knew coming into this year that this team was a ways from Florida and Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
And I think,
at least you should have. Yes.
Joe says they're just a bad road team right now. I don't think that's it. I mean, home road,
especially this year.
The Tennessee game points to the road thing, maybe, but this isn't. Alabama whipped them at home. Florida's whipping them on the road. I had hope we could make UGA a game, but that isn't happening. But again, this is the yo-yo effect, right? It's never as good as you think, never as bad. The season's not.
Right. One game doesn't impact the next.
But there are going to be people tonight saying Missouri's going 2-8. The same people, and I'm not saying you, Striker, but some of the same people were probably saying last week they were going 7-3.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's just neither one of them was ever true. And look, so Bryce brings up a good point. We look like Kentucky offensively. So remember at the beginning of the game when we were saying, hey, maybe these changes actually make Florida a little bit better? I mean, that's what's happened. Florida maybe has found something on offense or on defense. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and Missouri's offensive line without Delgado and Borum, that has hurt them clearly.
Yeah. And now Bobby Lawrence, I guess, is in at left tackle for Zeke Powell. Yes, you have to play Georgia. Well, I mean, I guess you don't have to between COVID and suspensions. Who knows? Because there's going to be some dudes suspended for that game. I would imagine Markel Lutzy and Chad Bailey among them.
Yeah. Oh man, almost a pick there for Ennis Rakestraw.
Yeah. And
Trey, that would have helped.
Trey brings up an interesting point. It's oversimplifying it, but feels like momentum, execution, and anything else positive we had going stopped after they didn't go for the 4th and an inch. And it is the butterfly effect, right? You can't ever say what else would have happened. But I still, at that point, don't really I didn't get it then.
I didn't either. I mean, yeah, you're around midfield. I think you should trust your offense to get, 6 inches. And also, I was just surprised
the way his offense has gone tonight, it's understandable.
That's true. Maybe he knew. Maybe he actually knew more than us at that point. But it was surprising because Streakwins has been so aggressive on 4th down.
Eric's asking if suspensions count for total players. I think they have to, right? It's how many players you have available. The reason doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I mean,
and Missouri's already down bodies to begin with.
Right. The SEC does sort of leave it up to the school to, decide if you're under a threshold, you could play. Maybe they pressure Mizzou into being yeah, this was your own fault. You should try to still play with fewer. But I would think, no, it's just if you're down, to too few defensive linemen, regardless of the reason, you're not playing.
Yeah. 5 or 6 wins is still possible. Yeah, it is. I mean, look, this was and this is what we too often forget. This was always a loss on the schedule. Always. Yesterday and 2 weeks ago and 6 months ago, this was always a game you expected to lose. Now, you hope to be more competitive. People got their hopes up after the last 2 weeks. I get it. But under any iteration of predicting the schedule, this has been a loss by sane people.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And yeah, people thought coming in, maybe Florida has these COVID issues, maybe because they haven't played in a few weeks, they're not going to look good. Neither of those things has been the case. That like you said, the COVID issues might have made their defense better. They have all their offensive playmakers and they've looked pretty sharp. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, they're and there's no question that they're the more talented team.
Yeah. Would the SEC suspend players for a game or for a week? Will the bye week help? No, you're not going to get suspended for a bye week. You're going to get suspended for the next game. There's no question about that. Being suspended for the bye week, if that was the case, players would get in fights before every bye week. They'd be like, "Sweet, I don't have to do anything."
What? I don't have to practice the bye week? That sounds great.
A&M now up 35-17, so they're gonna have very little issue with Arkansas. It appears. Really, no good games in the SEC this week. They all are terrible.
A&M, no close.
Yeah, A&M blown out Arkansas, Florida blown out Missouri, Alabama blown out Mississippi State, Ole Miss and Auburn won in blowouts, and Georgia won in a dude, you'd have to pay me to watch Kentucky football every week. It's dreadfully awful.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm looking at the message board here, and in my halftime thoughts, people are very much arguing my characterizing the Trajan Jeffcoat hit as a cheap shot. Do you all disagree? I mean, I don't know how else to describe it. It was a late and high hit.
Clearly late. It was clearly late. But
yeah.
And Eric brings up a good point. I predicted a win. You just called yourself insane. You're right, dude. I'm 100% wrong. To be fair, I said I wasn't sure I believed it, but yeah, I'll own that. My pick was 100% wrong.
Also, I know this is stunning, but we do not know the future.
I know some of it.
Which you all should know by now because I've been wrong on like every pick against the spread this season.
Yeah, I pick a lot of things wrong. I think the reality check is more about Florida than Mizzou. David says, I think it's probably some of both, right? Florida's better on defense than it has looked, and Missouri is not as good as it's looked the last 2 weeks. I think both are true. Jeffrey Johnson, not a fan.
Yeah, people saying that it was maybe a cheap shot, but it wasn't necessarily starting a brawl. No, nothing should start a brawl like that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, my point. Yeah, it wasn't that should have started the brawl, but it did.
Right, it did start the brawl. It shouldn't have started the brawl because nothing should start a brawl, and obviously Dan Mullen exacerbated the situation. I don't think there's any question. Do Mizzou's receivers hit the jugs machine when they get back tonight? Like, look, does it change this game? Probably not, but that's an issue. By the way, has this game been on commercial for 20 minutes?
Yes.
Or did I miss an entire drive?
No, that was an extremely long commercial break. Oh man, Josh. Dylan Spencer is having himself a rough night.
Which you would expect of a true freshman playing in the swamp, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think too. This is a little bit welcome back to planet Earth night for Connor Bazelak, right? I mean, he's had some drops. He hasn't had help from the line. He also hasn't been all that good, and that's going to happen to a redshirt freshman who started like 5 games. That's no knock on him, but again, the progression is not just linear. You're going to have some ups and downs.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's like that for quite a few of these young players or unproven players on the offense, and the offense as a whole in a new system. I mean, it's not always going to be perfect. Sir Mufflebones does have a good point that this is only Dylan Spencer's second year as an offensive lineman. That's true, and I don't expect him to be perfect. But also, he is starting in this game, and if he's the best you've got, like that is, I mean, obviously it's because of injury, but that is, you expect him to not get totally abused. Like, I'm not saying he can never be good, but it's hurting.
This is looking a little more like the line we expected to see after listening to Drinkwitz in fall camp.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, look, we knew they weren't deep up front because they've lost like 6 guys between opting out and season-ending injuries.
Reagan Myers has run out of coconut rum and has moved on to vodka.
Wow, coconut rum.
I got to be honest. I give you pretty intense credit for drinking coconut rum to begin with. That sounds pretty brutal.
It doesn't sound good.
I mean, I drank it in high school some before I learned to drink real things. But
there's another sack on 3rd and 10. I don't know if you saw it. I mean, to me, that it was more of a coverage sack.
Let's see. Yeah, that's not an offensive. That's not a protection breakdown.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, I think we've seen, Bazelak, I think he's just kind of gotten a little bit timid. I mean, he doesn't look like the decisive, accurate, quick passer we saw against LSU by any means.
So Patrick Aarons is asking about Luke Griffin. Is he hurt or is he just not playing?
I think he's just not playing.
Okay. So Thalen Robinson opted out. Jack Buford opted out and then back in, which basically to me means he opted out. Like, you're not going to get playing time after that.
Yeah.
Mitchell Walters is hurt.
Yeah.
So the guys who are eligible to play and aren't playing are Luke Griffin, Mike Ruth. Who else?
Drake Heismeyer, true freshman. No surprise there. We've seen the 2 guys rotate at left tackle. They both played. I'm trying to think. Yeah, Mike Ruth, Luke Griffin, Drake Heismeyer, Jack Buford. Those are the only ones I can think of off the top of my head.
I do love this. And Stryker, like, I hope you don't take offense to this, but Florida also had 3 weeks to prep for this game, at least schematically. I agree, but they didn't practice for 2.5 of those weeks. And coming into the game, we were all talking about how that should be a positive for Missouri, that they had time off.
Yeah.
So, again, it's just kind of based on what we see, we can spin almost anything to favor who we want it to favor. A nice tackle by Nick Bolton out there, really.
Yeah, Kadarius Toney's got some. He's got some moves.
He's going to play in the NFL, no question.
Yeah.
Reagan says coconut rum is a lot better than I think. I mean, I believe that because I think it would not be good. So if it is at least good, then yes, it's better than I think. Let's see. A couple of people asking if it's Sean Robinson time. No. I mean, this is a guy that started 4 games. You leave him out there, and you make him fight through this and see if you can find some positives out of it.
100%. I mean, Drinkwitz has talked a lot about. Oh, look, Jatorian Hansford is playing. Drinkwitz has talked a lot about. Game. What's that?
You're not coaching for this game, you know.
Right. And Drinkwitz has talked a lot about the offense needing all the game reps it can get. So, yeah, you take every rep you can.
Yeah.
There's Jatorian Hansford in on the tackle.
There you go. Yeah, I think at this point now you're looking for some, hey, and like Drinkwitz has said, playing hard is the minimum we expect. So they're not going to hand out any ribbons, but you're looking for the team to show some energy here and some signs of life late, right? In a
yes,
game
for sure. I mean,
we know is over, but
yeah. I mean, you need some. You would like some sort of something, you know, to build off of offensively, especially, and then just to show, like you said, a sign of life.
Because theoretically, you make a play and get a turnover, there is time left. There's no rules against scoring 21 points in 20 minutes. You know, I mean, it's not like it's 52-10.
Right.
I guess.
Oh, fumble. I don't know. I think Florida might have gotten it back. I'm not sure then now if it's shorter if he got the first down.
I don't think I can't tell who has the ball or where the spot is. It's a good thing Missouri's defense was only on the field for 36 snaps last week because it feels like it's been on the field all night this week.
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, time of possession actually a lot closer than I would have thought it was. So Martez Manuel ripped that out. I'm not sure how Jeff Coat missed it, but he did. So 4th down.
Yeah, it was way up in the air. I think Missouri will benefit from having a bye next week because there's some defensive guys who played a lot of snaps, and then Basilak's been hit quite a bit.
Yeah. Oh, so apparently not 4th down.
No, first down.
I don't like that rule where you can fumble forward, by the way. I don't think that should happen.
No, I agree.
I think it should go
back.
Yeah,
it should go back to where the ball was knocked out.
Can we talk about how pointless and arbitrary measuring with the changes? We can. It's really stupid.
It is. It's actually hilarious about, because college football coaches are obsessed over every little tiny detail possible and, avoiding chance and avoiding leaving things to chance. But we still do the game with like a chain link instead of any sort of technology.
Yeah, we're still good with it. Just
and spotting the ball.
Walk in from 47 yards away. I like it when it's completely on the opposite side of the field.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this has a chance to get very ugly.
Yeah.
84 for Florida has been open the entire game. To be fair, he's the best tight end in America. I mean,
yeah, he also honestly that was his first catch in a while, was it not? I'm gonna look at the stats. No, I think he might have had one more, but he had 3 catches in like the first 2 drives, and now he's only up to 5. So
yeah, Missouri's actually done a decent job against him. 5 for 81 isn't terrible.
Right. He hasn't scored a touchdown today, even though he had scored 7 in the first 3 games of the season.
You never know. Got a chance coming up here, I feel like. This would be prime tight end territory.
That's true.
I feel like halftime took longer than the whole third quarter.
Yeah.
I guess that's what happened when you have a huge brawl.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't start the 20-minute clock until they get everyone off the field.
Yeah, I feel like they should have started it right away.
I mean, I feel like we should just go ahead and end the game now, personally.
Agreed. That was a really nice spot. I thought that guy was out about the 2-yard line. Let's see. Yeah, he definitely stepped out at the 2.
He did, yeah. I think the ball was, like between the 1 and the 2.
Oh, yeah, I guess the ball was in front of him. That's fair. And Nick Bolton's about to do something. I don't know what it is. We got a lot of people bailing on us for Netflix. Hope they come back for the post-game show. Hopefully. Or not. I could go to bed early. It's fine.
It could be I feel like the post-game show could be entertaining.
I feel like we should at least spend time breaking down the fight.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I would like to hear some inebriated people's takes on the fight.
Well, I mean, I'll call you drunk and talk about it.
I mean, yeah. Oh, I'm more meant in the future. I'll probably not listen to post game live. I'll be working.
Okay.
Well, touchdown, Florida.
A lot of dudes running on and off the field there.
So now I would say is 100% over.
Seemed quite open. I don't know what Shorter's first name is, but
I don't either.
I'm not going to look it up, but it's not truthfully very important to me. So yeah, it's 34-7. I think Florida's going to cover.
Yeah,
my pick of 30...
I actually think I've been wrong on like my picks. Like we guessed the score. I think I've been wrong against the spread in all 5 Mizzou games now this season.
Yeah, my pick of Harrison Mevis for the hero is not going to look very good, I don't think.
Maybe he'll kick a 64-yarder here late. They'll just say, why not?
Will it count for 25 points? Oh, wait, they would still lose, actually. I needed to count for 28.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of comments tonight that we should get into hockey because fights like that happen all the time. But if they happen all the time, they're not interesting. They're only interesting because it was so unusual, right?
Yeah. Also entertaining to watch people punch people wearing helmets because it's just very counterproductive.
It's really not intelligent. Yeah, I've never understood that. You're going to break your hand before you hurt the person wearing the helmet.
Yeah.
Does Florida run up the score with the fight in mind? Well, I mean, it seems kind of like a Dan Mullen thing to do after watching his role in that fight. And I'll be honest, even some of the comments earlier in this season, like, Dan Mullen seems pretty hard to like, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's funny because I actually always thought of him as pretty likable, but then this season he's been on a little bit of a bad run. Mainly with it's just the irony of saying we want to pack this swamp with 90,000 people and then having his entire team get COVID, including himself, and kind of screw up the whole SEC schedule.
Right. And then he's mad that his players can't practice on election day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not great, Dan. Not a good week for. But they, you might have free time on election day now. You might be suspended. Not you, Dan Mullen.
It's true.
I wonder if we've seen the last of Kyle Trask.
I would kind of think so. I mean, especially in a game that's been chippy, I wouldn't put him back out there.
Right, same. Missouri has 33 yards rushing on 18 carries.
Larry Roundtree not going to get to the not going to get to the record.
To be fair, that does include Kiki Chisholm, 1 carry for negative 15 yards. But
yeah, that wasn't great.
No. All right. I like this from I'm Case. Dan Mullen is like an a-hole Mike Leach. That's one way to put it. I think Boat Dan's reputation taking a little bit of a hit tonight.
Yeah, you do hate to see that. Boat Dan is, I mean, his run was something special, no doubt.
Would Walters beat Mullen in a fight? Oh, I don't think there's any question about that.
Yeah, I'd take Ryan Walters there. I mean, did Mullen play college football?
Walters got to be 20 years younger, right?
Right. Walters is younger and played safety at a very high level.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to fight him.
Yeah. I mean, Walter's like 35 years old. No question. He'd beat Mullen. Reagan Myers says he would beat Mullen in a fight, and he is very weak. I mean, fueled by coconut rum,
Yeah, that's true. The coconut rum could propel him to great things.
Well, that was a bad quarter. That kind of sums it up. Really, second quarter, also bad quarter.
Yeah, like from the last 4 minutes of the second quarter on, like not one good thing has happened for Missouri.
First quarter, not a great quarter, but the best quarter so far.
Yeah.
All right, maybe I'll update these stats while you're still here, Mitch. I have a feeling it'll be very pretty. Any guess what the total yardage difference is?
Well, I can look, but without looking.
I mean, without looking.
I bet Florida's outgained Missouri by like 260.
313. Any guess how many yards Missouri had that quarter?
Like 7.
4.
Ooh, that's not a great quarter.
Far too much credit in that quarter.
Yeah. Ouch.
4. That was a Kentucky-like quarter, let's be honest.
Yeah, it really was.
And that's not a compliment. Okay, better stat. Any idea how many rushing yards Missouri had in that quarter?
Well, the sacks count against rushing yards in college, so factoring that in, I'll say -7.
-8. Very, very good guesses. Yeah.
Yeah, that qualifies as a bad quarter.
Yeah, it's not pretty. They did have 12 passing yards, though. So, I don't know. That's something.
Everyone thinks the drink I have has alcohol in it, which it does not, sadly.
Yeah, that is too bad.
I still got it right. I got a long evening ahead of me.
I mean, mine will have alcohol in it soon. But the Sonic Cup is a good way to disguise alcohol.
Yeah.
I've known a lot of Little League parents who disguise alcohol that way.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not a very good disguise, honestly. I mean, it's not like a big trick, but Florida has had as many first downs in that quarter as Missouri has in the game.
Missouri didn't have any first downs that quarter. I know that.
No, they did not. Okay, let's see. Let's catch up on. Yeah, not a lot of good quarters. Absolutely. Oh, there's a lot of comments. I'm impressed. I get to catch up here.
Yeah, people are like pretty engaged, so that's good. Thank you.
Mullen looks like he has a jacked up spine and walks with a weird hunch. I kind of. This is way more entertaining than sitting in the press box.
That is true.
Especially, I mean, think about how miserable you would be if you had flown to Gainesville and you had to drive back to the Ocala Hilton after this game.
Yeah, and get back to Ocala. Gosh, yeah, getting back there
Chinese
at like 3 a.m.
would all be closed.
Yeah,
Terrible.
I couldn't get dinner with Akil Byers. No one understands that joke.
I do.
But you would have to, we'd get back to the Ocala Hilton at like 3 a.m. to then have to wake up and drive an hour to Orlando to catch a flight the next day. That Gainesville trip is terrible.
And the Orlando airport on a Sunday morning is the 10th circle of hell. I mean, maybe less so now than it used to be, but when people were leaving Disney on Sunday morning, it was the worst place in America.
Yeah.
Like it was, they should send prisoners there and nobody would ever again commit a crime.
Also, our
I
last
just remember, I don't know if he's. What's that?
So our last visit there, when we landed, someone had fired Barry Odom on our message board, posing as you.
Right. And then when we were flying out, I don't know if you remember this, but I don't know if he's still on here, but Schiff had run across like 27 gates just to come say hi to us.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And I wasn't super in the mood to say hi to anyone because I was in the Orlando airport at like 7:30 on a Sunday morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good old Dan thinks Truman the Tiger has started drinking. I know a
Well,
guy
he
who
should.
did that job, actually.
Really?
Yeah, he was pretty good at it. I also, for my son's, like, I don't remember. I want to say it was like his second or third birthday. We rented Truman the Tiger. He came to the party. He was a big hit.
Really?
$25.
I'm sure he was.
Yeah, it was cool. Everyone should just start drinking. Like, seriously, did that not happen hours ago?
Yeah. What are y'all doing? It's
Have you guys
9:30.
not been drinking? What's happening? You don't have to work. Do you think Mullen wants to run up the score? I mean, like, I don't think he really has to try. It's 34-7, right?
Right. I mean, that last drive, they held the ball for a long time. And
Yeah, it's not like they were. That was I was about to say that was a really nice catch by Larry Roundtree, and then I saw the ball hit the turf.
Yeah, he didn't catch it.
So, yeah, Case wants to know if it's basketball season yet. This is just the eternal struggle, right? Can't wait for football season. Is it basketball yet? Then basketball starts. Is it football yet?
Yes, when spring football.
Right. Yeah.
Barrett Bannister is playing.
Okay.
I don't believe he's been targeted.
There.
Yeah.
All right.
Husky Dove is starting to play more in the second half. I don't think Boo Smith has played, which is a shame because it's Halloween. You'd think this would be his day.
Like, I don't understand why not. Right?
Yeah.
What?
I mean, me neither. Like you can't. Right. Yeah. And with how Hazleton played in the first half, I would play Boo Smith over him. Yeah. Which, to be fair, I have not seen a lot of Hazleton in the second.
So, Mitch, Patrick Aarons is traveling to Louisville and wants to know what restaurant he should eat at. I mean, that's the point we're at in this game.
Yeah. Oh, man. You're putting me on the spot a little bit here. I mean, it depends. There's like a ton of restaurants in Louisville. It's a big city.
I heard there's a KFC. They own the KFC.
That's what we're known for. I mean, if you're going, there's a lot of nice restaurants, but like, I really like this place called Ceviche. It's like South American, Central American type food, seafood and steak, stuff like that. If you want a good burger, there's this place called WW Cousins that is really good. And I don't know. There's so many. Those are just two that leap to my mind that I know I tell people. Yeah, I don't know. I'll compile a more expensive list at some point.
Basilak looks pretty good when he has time to set his feet. You know, I mean, he's like, that was a nice throw to Nico Hay. Putting together a little bit of a drive. What about Mike Lee's restaurant? What do you think about that?
I've never heard of that.
Okay. Can we have just one season where we're good at something? I'll take baseball at this point. I mean, like, Case, they've overachieved so far this year. I get it. Tonight sucks and all that, and I understand, but this wasn't going to be a 7-3, 8-2 season. I mean, we said before the year, win more than 3, it's a good year. I stand by that. Yeah. They find 2 more wins, it's a good year.
Right, like this. Oh my, yeah, crazy formation here with Elijah Young in the game, and then Micah Wilson and Larry Roundtree both in the backfield.
I mean, it seems.
I mean, that was one of the more interesting 3-yard runs of the night.
I mean, the best time to pull out a trick play is down 34-7 with 11.5 to go.
Yeah, it kind of doesn't make a ton of sense.
And I get it. Like, they're just putting it on tape for another team. I get it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but back to your point, like, I mean, yes, like, this is not fun for a Missouri fan.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like, this does.
I'll be honest. It's not that fun for me. Maybe it's fun for you. I don't know. But
I mean, that's not the best. It's not been the most interesting. I mean, since the fight, really nothing very interesting has happened.
Right. Mike Kaiser says, go to the restaurant. Patino had fun on the pool table. Which restaurant was that?
I
remember the story.
Porcini's, yeah. Or, yeah. Was it Porcini's?
They serve.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. My cousin worked there for a brief period, actually. Not when Patino was there, though. She said she was like a hostess, like a greeter, seater, or whatever, and she said people would request the booth, his booth all the time.
Reagan says 4th and 1 kicking a field goal. Not a fan of that. I disagree. Like, you need something positive. Your offense hasn't scored. Take the 3 points. At this point, you're not coaching for tonight.
You're not winning this game either way.
No, you're coaching for your guys to have something to take home to feel better about. And Mevis missed his earlier kick. I'm fine with this. I have no problem with it.
Yeah.
Be what, a 29-yard field goal, I think?
Yeah.
So, hey, so it's, I mean, 3 touchdowns and 3 2-point conversions, and you're right there. I mean, just saying.
Stops, the 3 stops, which we have not seen.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a lot of things that seem unlikely about that, but I don't know how much time's left in this game, other than too much.
Yeah, almost 11 minutes. Definitely too much.
My God, I was gonna say you could go and write post-game stuff on the message board, but like I can't fill the 11 minutes. I need you at least to go like the 7-minute mark.
All right.
I feel like we've definitely lost some steam, though. I mean, there's not much to say,
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, like, the actual game at this point is not, worth really commenting about. It's over.
Right. Earlier, Stuart brought up a point. He said, and it's actually in 2 separate posts, but said, I honestly think our second-team receivers are better than our first-team receivers. And they've been more productive.
I mean, yeah, they have been this year other than Jalen Knox.
Yeah, they've
obviously had a drop tonight, but still.
So Damon Hazelton's dropped at least 2 passes, maybe more, and Kiki Chisholm has negative yards of total offense tonight. He has 2 touches for -7 yards. I think those guys need to have more of a chance. Eric says if we got drunk, it would be more fun. Like, Eric, just stick around for the post.
Been bad with the drops, but at least he is relatively consistently getting open. But I've seen nothing from Kiki Chisholm that says he deserves to play over like Towski Dove or Michael Wilson
or Barrett Bannister.
Right. Well, I mean, they don't really. Bannister's not going to line up out wide, I don't think, ever. But
yeah. But a fair point. And like, look, we'll talk about it. We'll ask. I don't know if we'll ask about it tonight because I'm not sure that's the storyline tonight. The storyline
probably more of
just
a
kind of
question.
Yeah, everything went bad, and oh, by the way, what the hell happened at halftime? Like it or not, that's the major story.
Yeah,
Reagan says I'd rather risk they go for it whether they get it or not. I get it, but like. I'm not going to argue about a field goal with that. I think it's okay.
Right. Yeah. Like at this point, you're not winning this game either way. Just get something to feel decent about at some points.
So Case asked a question that A, he may have answered himself, and B, I'm not sure he wants us to answer, but why did I talk myself into this game in the East? I know I'm an idiot, but why did they do this to us every time they have expectation? I just wanted to be competitive. So, I mean, you provided one potential answer. I'm not saying it is the answer, but it is a potential answer. But I actually had a text exchange with a friend of mine before this game. And he said, Georgia only beat Kentucky 14-3. Missouri wins tonight. Look out. And my exact verbatim response was, don't do this to yourself and convince yourself that Missouri is going to win the SEC East. I mean, I just don't. Like, because at that point, if you get mad about that, that's your fault. Because there was no... Now, this game, again, I picked Missouri to win. I thought Missouri would be competitive. They have not been. It's been disappointing, all that. I get why you're frustrated with tonight, but it's not completely out of the blue shocking. Florida's a good team.
Yeah, I mean, we said it. I said it so many times this week. We said it on the midweek show. I said it on the message board. Like, it was just way too early to start talking about winning the East. They were 2-2. Right. I mean, just too early. And I said maybe if we watch Mizzou beat Florida, then sure, then you can start. But that needed that data point first, and clearly they're just not there yet.
And I do, by the way, want while we're filling for the last
7 hours, and post game's going to start at 3 a.m. But do want to mention Colin Gentry Law Group again, making this possible. Callgentry.com. Go check them out online. They have an online chat feature. You can talk to them. They have a phone number on their website. You can get a hold of them. Basically, if you have legal issues, maybe Dan Mullen can use them. Maybe one of the 12 people Mark Helutzi tried to punch can use them. I mean, there might be
someone has a wrongful injury from the fight.
There may be some personal injury cases coming out of this game, quite honestly. Maybe somebody broke his hand on a helmet. Who knows? But, if you do have legal issues, call them. Colin Gentry Law Group down in Jefferson City. Callgentry.com is the website. Ask for Chip. He will set you up. I'm really surprised Kyle Trask is still in this game, and I don't really understand why.
Yeah, I mean that's just I don't know. Like
especially not running up the score, it just doesn't make sense.
Right, like especially in a game where there's been some hits that there's been a fight and some big hits and one very late hit. Like I don't know, he's too important.
Yeah. Stryker says this game was competitive with competent wide receivers. I just don't agree. I don't think that changes enough. I mean, it changes a few plays.
Offense with issues beyond just like those drops were a big factor in the first half. But Mizzou's offense was a factor. It was a mess in all facets. I mean, the offensive line's been bad. Bazelak hasn't been too good, really, if we're being honest. I mean, he's not made many terrible mistakes other than the fumble, but he like I said earlier, he just hasn't looked very decisive and knowing where he wants to go with the ball.
And Florida has 478 total yards. Kadarius Toney has 3 touchdowns on 7 touches. There's no world really where I see Missouri winning this game on this night.
Right. Yeah. Florida needs to score another 14 points. They easily can.
They did. Well, Florida might have just gone over. Oh, no, that play got them to 478. I mean, that's a nice throw by Trask, but just wide open. I mean,
someone asking about 17 at corner. That's Jalen Carley's the freshman.
Okay. And the safety just really late getting over Gillespie. Nice hit, but just late getting over.
Yeah.
Hey, Florida has more penalties than Missouri, so that's good. So a week after running 92 plays, Missouri has now run 49 and only averaged 3.4 yards per.
Yeah, that's not going to get it done.
No. Oh, it's bedtime. We're done.
It is. It is your bedtime. It's past your bedtime.
Oh, it's well past my bedtime. The strength coach may need to call Gentry Law Group. Yeah, seriously, man.
Yeah, he was in the middle of it.
Offensive line has been bad. Hard for the QB to look good when he doesn't have time. Yeah, I'm in fair point.
Agreed. Yeah.
Still some wins out there from no question. Still some like I still tonight doesn't change my over under of 4.5. I don't see anything.
Yeah.
How is Drink going to be in the post game? My opinion would be not very happy, probably.
Yeah, I would think he might be kind of short.
Go out of his way to be, snarky or anything, but
I think he might just be a little bit short, a little bit curt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I anticipate a post-game press conference that starts very quickly after the game ends and lasts about 7 minutes.
Yeah. It's fine with me. It's late.
Right. Yeah, I won't be arguing tonight. This game gives Drinkwitz a lot of teaching moments to work with. Missouri was never an East contender this year. They built great excitement, still have much work to do. I can live with that. I 100% agree. Like, perfect. People care. They're excited. There's reason to be hopeful, but long way to go. I think that's exactly
right. Right. This sucks right now. I mean, you want to be competitive in this game. It's no fun to watch your team kind of get, whipped up and down the field. But at the end of this season, people are almost, no matter what happened in this game or the Georgia game, like people were going to be excited coming out of the year based on beating LSU and beating Kentucky, which, are things. I mean, beating a ranked team is something Barry rarely did, and beating Kentucky is something he never did. So it's like things you can point to as, signs for progress. And I still think they have a chance to exceed my preseason expectations.
Dan wants to know if we voted. Should we just start talking about who we did or are going to vote for? I feel like
probably not. I think.
Yeah,
I don't think I don't have the energy for
Juice
that. I've not voted yet. I'm voting.
So my guess is people are going to be mad about Florida throwing for the end zone with 8 minutes. You know what? Be better. Stop them. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, I've never had much sympathy for teams who are, I don't know, feel like you're getting the score run up on you. It's like, just be less bad.
I'm not pushing the panic button yet, but this performance wasn't reassuring as far as thinking Mizzou gets to 5 wins. I get Florida's a good team, but this has been a dreadful effort. But it's only been one is the thing. I mean, yes, it's been a bad night. But what you're seeing tonight is what happens when you play very poorly against a good team. You get run out of the building. I mean, that's what happened.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, this was not a game where Missouri could play its C or D game and have a chance of winning. It needed to play its best game just to hang. Didn't happen, and I mean, that's almost certainly like every team has at least one game like that during the course of the season. And Mizzou's kind of had 2 so far, but it's a young team.
Yeah.
And we have another Florida touchdown.
Hey, at least it's not Kadarius Toney.
True.
It's I don't know, some guy named Grimes.
I think maybe Trayvon Grimes. I don't know why I think that, but that rings a bell.
I don't either. He's just going to be Grimes on the scoring play. So yeah, it's 40-10. Probably 41-10 by now. Just going to give him the extra point. It's there have been better evenings. But at least we're not there.
That's true. We don't have to make the drive. Yeah. It's from Ocala to Orlando. And Gainesville to Ocala.
Ohio State up on Penn State 38-19. I forgot that game was even happening. I forgot there were other games on, honestly.
Yeah. I haven't seen any super compelling scores from elsewhere.
Yeah. So, let's look at the rest of this. I mean, they're going to lose to Georgia, right? So they're going to be 2-4. After that, you get Vandy, South Carolina. I think I've got this in order. South Carolina, Arkansas, Mississippi State, and Vanderbilt. I mean, 4-0 is – they might be favored in all 4 of those games. Right?
Yeah. I mean, the schedule definitely gets easier down the stretch. We'll see. I mean, those but all very, very winnable.
Yeah. Good old Dan wants to know if I'm going to drink Fat Tire tonight. Like, they don't sponsor my show. No.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're going to know who we're sponsored by.
I mean, if they want to sponsor the show, I'll drink it. It's fine. But, I'll drink nail polish remover if they want to sponsor the show.
I don't recommend that.
I mean, I didn't say I recommended it. I just said I would do it. I'm just trying to help the business here, Mitch. How tired are they on defense, or is defense a problem? I mean, let's not excuse the defense. They've given up 496 yards. Yeah, they've been on the field already for 30 minutes. So that's part. The offense hasn't helped them, but they haven't helped themselves a lot.
Yeah, no, I said around halftime and early in the third quarter that I thought, this was more on the offense than the defense. I still think it's probably more on the offense than the defense, but at this point, you can't be super thrilled with what you've seen from the defense. I think Florida's scored touchdowns on like 3 of 4 second half possessions or 4 or 5. Let me look. Yeah, 3 out of 4 second half possessions. So that's not. I mean, yeah, that's not going to get it done.
Yeah. I know we talked about this earlier, but David's asking if it's time to get Sean Robinson playing time. No, I mean, look, Bazelak's a redshirt freshman. I think you get him all the snaps you can, you get him all the experience you can, and in some ways you make him wear this a little bit. Not that it's all his fault, but like go out there in a 41-10 game and still show some fight.
Yeah.
No, to me, he takes every snap he's healthy enough to take.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, like I said earlier, you want this kid to get in this offense to get as many reps together as they can. They didn't have much of an off season, so you take all you can get.
Yeah, Dan Dorr wants to know if we'll enjoy the extra hour of sleep tonight. I won't turn it down. I'll probably still wake up at 5:30 because like that.
I'll be honest, I didn't even know that was tonight. That's good to know.
Yeah, it is. So it's really only 8:50 right now. So
that does make me feel a little bit better.
Worse. Michael, which flavor do you choose for this game? You got to tune in, man. It's like a big reveal. I'm actually pretty happy about this one. I'm pretty proud of this one. So we'll get to it. It also might allow me to be upright at the end of the show, so it's like a double bonus. This has been an incredibly long football game. 3 hours and 20 minutes, and we've got 8 minutes left. I mean,
especially since the entire second half has not been competitive.
Right, and I understand 27 minutes of it we're throwing haymakers at halftime, but Kiki Chisholm, by the way, now positive offensive yardage, so that's good.
Good for him.
Yeah. All right. So basically, really at this point, Mitch, anytime you want to that's a rough place to fall down. Nobody was there. Anytime you want to go get started on post-game thoughts and get ready for writing and stuff, that's cool.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'll probably hop up here in a minute if anyone has any burning last-minute questions.
I'll see you on the computer again in about 45 minutes probably. Hopefully it's less than that. Hey, there's Barrett Bannister.
Mm-hmm.
Does Mizzou win 7 games in a normal schedule this year? I mean, probably, because if they're a 4 or 5 win team, that kind of translates to about 7-5, which would be
I would agree.
A little bit better than last year.
If they win 5, I would think that's 7 to 8 in a normal year. Although BYU would have been a tough one.
And Louisiana is not a bad team. Louisiana would not qualify as a gimme win. I know they've been a little disappointing, but
not at all.
4th down.
All right, 4th and 3. I'm watching this play, then I'm out.
Do you think they're going to go for it? Because here,
they're going for it.
If you go for it here, to me, that kind of invites running up the score, right? If you're going for it here and giving them the ball on the 45-yard line, then they're free to go.
But I don't think you care if you get the score run up against you.
No, I don't either. I'm just saying if fans will complain about it. So I'm just they got it.
But anyway, I think it is my time to go right. So
all right,
good to hang out with everyone.
Yeah,
and we'll tune into the post game show. Should be fun.
All right, we'll talk to you in a while, Mitch.
See ya.
Thanks. All right, so Mitch logging off. We're going to take him off the screen there. We're going to put me on the screen. And so hopefully you guys enjoy this with the two of us. I think it works a little bit better than, like, I would have been hard-pressed to probably fill this whole time. So ImK says a big final 6 minutes for the total bettors. Well, I don't know what the over-under is on this game, but what was it? Let me know. Our non-MU questions allowed was not expecting the Harbaugh special loss to be the game today. Yeah, I honestly, I didn't watch any of that game. I had a family thing earlier in the day, so I didn't really see any football this morning. Saw the first half, I think, of Georgia Kentucky, but I did not watch Michigan State. But that's a bad loss, man. I mean, like, I don't think Harbaugh's job's in danger, but whew. All right, over-unders at 61. Missouri's, yeah, it'll be close. My guess would be even if Missouri scores, Florida probably runs the clock out. I think the under is safe, but I could be wrong. Stuart, man, me and Mitch aren't in competition here. We're pulling the rope the same way. We're on the same team here. So, all right, followed it up with the LOL, so that's good. But yeah, so again, to remind you guys, and thanks for everybody who's still here, honestly, because it would have been easy to say, this is brutal and I'm out. But the way it's going to work, as soon as the game hits 0, I'm going to log off. I'm going to go to, I probably won't even update the stats because at this point they're lopsided enough you guys don't care. But I'll log off. I'll get on Eli Drinkwitz's Zoom call. I'll record it. And then as soon as it's done, I'll start the post-game show. And I will, the first 5 to 10 minutes of that, however long the press conference is, I'll play Drinkwitz's press conference for you guys. And then we'll get on. We'll take calls. The number for if any of you guys want to take it down now, it's 573-234-4935. Would love to take some of the calls from you guys and hear what you think about this game. What you want to talk about, rest of the season, all that. We basically just open up the phone line, say, hey, whatever you guys want to talk about, let's talk about it. But we will be on until you guys are done. I mean, I've got the fridge is stocked. I've got the Boulevard of the Week picked out. And we'll go. We get an hour of sleep back tonight, so we'll go as long as you guys want to go. So Eric, yeah, thanks for hanging around. Appreciate it. Bob Douglas apologizes to Mitchell for watching the offense, but hey, they do score. So that's something. Over under on Drinkwitz's press conference, 7.5 minutes. I said I thought 7. So I guess I'm taking the under there. That was a pretty nice run by Larry Roundtree. He gets in the end zone. Let's see what his numbers are. He's got 14 carries for 36 yards, so he's not going to pass Zach Abram this week. I would assume he will pass Zach Abram against Georgia. He needs, I think, 18 more yards to get there. So you would think he'll have that in the game against Georgia, but I guess it's, nothing's a given. You'd like to see the offense look a little bit better in that one, but I think it'd be a good time for a week off for Missouri. This is a tough one. Obviously, you would like to look better than you looked. No question there. But it doesn't really change the outlook for the season. I think we're going to probably spend more time post-game talking about the fight than anything else, and I think that's fair. It was certainly the most interesting part of the game, and I think it's worth talking about. And because there are going to be repercussions from it for both teams. I certainly blame Trajan Jeffcoat some. I blame Trey Williams some. I blame Dan Mullen some. I think there's plenty of blame to go around. But I'll be interested to see what Drinkwitz has to say about it. My guess is he's not going to say much. He's probably going to default to watching the film, saying, I want to see what happened before he has much of a comment. But I also think there's probably not going to be a whole lot of love lost between him and Dan Mullen going forward once he does watch the film. Dan Dorr wants me to get cable. Look, I feel like we were closer to live tonight than we have been the first couple games. I'm not likely to get cable again. We'll see. I might do it before next season. Is Jalen Knox the leading rusher? I don't think so. No, Roundtree has 36 yards and Knox has 32. Now, Knox only has one carry. And oddly, despite those two combining for 68, Missouri has only 47 as a team. Missouri averaged 2.1 a carry, Florida 5.2. Total yardage almost exactly 2-1 in favor of Florida. A lot of Missouri's coming on that last drive. Penalties pretty even. Third down's dreadful for both teams. 3 for 14 for Missouri, 4 for 13 for Florida. Fourth down's perfect. Total plays closer to even 65-60 now, but Florida averaging 3.5 yards more per play, twice as much per completion, 2.5 times as much per rush. I mean, they've just been better. There's in pretty much every facet. So 3:18 to go. I would imagine we're going to come out and just see Florida hand the ball off quite a bit here. Try to get this thing over with. I can't see any reason to handle it any other way. All right, so touchback, Florida going to take over, and yeah. Again, I can't imagine we're going to see anything but running plays, no timeouts by either team. I mean, this game's over. Anything else is just kind of Trask is finally out. Anything else is just delaying the inevitable. Wow, Kyle Trask, SEC record through 4 games, 18 touchdown passes, pretty impressive. Florida just went over 500 total yards and still carrying Missouri tacklers. Cannon York in the game. 17, Jalen Carlise in the game. 99, Isaiah McGuire. Didn't hear his name much this week. I don't know if that's because he didn't play as much or he just didn't make a lot of plays, but just didn't notice him as much as I have the last couple of weeks. So realistically, we got, I don't know, 5 more snaps in this game, I think. Todd trying to talk basketball already. We'll talk about it down the road, man. Not tonight. Can't do it. Well, Stryker, he didn't have like an official record, but it's 18 touchdown passes through the first 4 conference games is a record. Nobody's ever done that before. They're all conference games, so that was what they were showing on the screen when I said that. Florida, Georgia next week. Who you got? Georgia's the better team. Florida's better at quarterback. But Georgia's defense, I think, does enough in that game to win it. Loser's out of the playoff discussion, obviously. Winner might be out of it. I mean, going to have to beat Bama at some point. All right, so I think we got 2 snaps left here, guys. Maybe 3. Just kind of depends. Dan, I'm not delaying anything, man. I want to get done. Hey, that was that snap reminded me of Melvin Gordon's pitch on the flea flicker in the Broncos-Chiefs game. So Cannon York recovers it. Good for him. Got in the box score. Nice play for a walk-on there. Now we'll see. I mean, obviously Missouri's going to try to score. We'll see. Yeah, Stryker says the over/under going down. Yeah, look, this will make SVP if Missouri manages to top the over here. It'll also just make the game last about 4 minutes longer. Dominic Jacinto in the game. There's Boo Smith. I think it's the first time he's been on the field. I don't know. Bannister took a shot there. All right, well, there you go. Looks like we're going to get the final here. It's going to be 41-17. Florida's going to take over. A&M has beaten Arkansas, so everything is going to be final in the SEC, and really a terrible week of games. Nothing very exciting, if we're being honest, but appreciate you guys hanging around. Missouri, rough night. That's okay. There are going to be some. But we are basically, again, just one more time to remind. First of all, one more time, thanks to Colin Gentry Law Group. Check them out at callgentry.com online. Get all your questions answered, whether it's on their online chat, whether you call them, whether you email them, write them a letter, whatever you want to do. But go to Colin Gentry for all your legal needs, your personal injury needs, all that. I am, as soon as this thing hits 0, after one kneel down, I'm going to log off. I'm going to go to Eli Drinkwitz's press conference. As soon as it's over, we will start the post-game show right here, same channel, all that. So thank you guys, everybody, for hanging out with us all game. Thanks to Mitchell, who was on here till about 6 minutes ago, for hanging out and making it a little better. If you guys would hit the like button real quick before you leave, before we end this, much appreciated. We will be back with Drinkwitz postgame, taking your calls, all that on the Boulevard postgame drink. And I will be going to grab the refreshment out of the fridge right now. So we will see you guys, I'm guessing, within half an hour on the postgame drink.